Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson. Sports Center, brought to you by Ho Chunk Gaming Madison, home of smoke-free slots and the highest payout percentage in the area. Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. More spins, more wins, more fun. The Milwaukee Brewers unable to secure their first sweep of the 2025 season, falling 7-2 in the third and final game of their series in Colorado against the Rockies yesterday afternoon. West Coast road trip continues tonight. The Brewers visiting the Arizona Diamondbacks for the weekend set. First of three tonight, 8:40. First pitch, listen to it right here on Madison's home of the Brewers, 100.5 ESPN. That immediately follows the Milwaukee Bucks in action against the Detroit Pistons. Pre-game coverage starts at 5:30 following Jim, Matt, and Molly. Tip at 6 here on Madison's home of the Bucks, 100.5 ESPN. The Bucks 6.5-point underdogs for tonight's contest in Detroit. Thanks to the Pacers winning last night, Indiana has secured the 4 seed in the Eastern Conference playoff picture. The best the Bucks can do is the 5 seed. They need to win one of their final 2 games, both against the Pistons, either tonight in Detroit or Sunday afternoon in Milwaukee, hosting Detroit. That's the status of that. Let's check on the Packers. Wilde and Tausch starts now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com. 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, Jason Wilde.
Is there anything anybody loves more than agreeing with Tausch?
Packers Hall of Famer, Mark Tauscher.
I got a hunch this isn't going to be concise either.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio.
I would say that you are pretty easygoing. You're actually probably more easygoing than I am.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Well, you're not easygoing at all.
Hey!
On 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
It is the Friday edition. Very rarely do we do a poll question, and I think this has restored my faith in humanity. But yesterday's kind of did edition. The Badgers offensive coordinator Jeff Grimes scheduled to appear at 11 a.m. edition. Grimesy. Can we call him that? Does anyone call him that? We'll have to find out.
You can ask him.
I will. And a special Feel Good Friday featuring our great partners at Verizon edition of Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video, not Twitter yet, maybe Facebook, but definitely YouTube. And, of course, everything you need on WisconsinOnDemand.com and the Wisconsin On Demand app, which there may be a little bit of news on that on Monday. I'm Jason Wilde in Green Bay. Jesse Nelson is in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios.
It's amazing you've kept that a secret.
Thank you. It's growth.
You haven't really kept it a secret. Like, you're something.
I'm trying to build. No. I'm not even tempted to give away the farm. I'm just trying to build anticipation. It's a tease. And let's shift to the big tease. The big fella. Nobody teases better than him. I just never know when it's coming. He is the Packers Hall of Famer. No one would ever boo this guy. He is Mark Tauscher. Tausch, good morning. How are you?
Good. So you're surprised by poll results, huh?
I'm thrilled with poll results. Thrilled. Because we live in a time when people are kind of jerkies. They're jerk stores, a lot of them. Certainly there are a lot of good people still. But, man, people just they like being mean to other people, I feel like.
I think that's more of a social media. If you get in the real world, I don't agree with that. Same thing, like when you see – now, a great example, and I'm not going to call out any shows or anything like that, but there are things that you will say in person or that you'll say online and anonymously that you'll never have the courage to say in person.
Right, but isn't that a window, not a Pella window, into what's really inside them? Just because they're not courageous enough to be jerks to your face doesn't mean they're not jerks inside.
I don't think so. I think you sometimes have to be a little more theatrical. I don't. I think people are going to, and I might be wrong on this, I think people will treat people when they're together and in person a heck of a lot better than they'll treat people online or anonymously. I think the general default is going to be when you're actually interacting and dealing with people is to be compassionate and good people. I think when it has become more and more of a virtual world and not as interpersonal, that's when you get into the jerk-storish and the mean stuff and all of that. I don't think most people don't want to be confrontational and jerks. I think it happens more along as a little thing gets decoded into becoming a bigger thing, and that is the virtual world that we're unfortunately going to be living in more as the world continues to evolve than I think in an interpersonal world. So, no,
Okay.
I would disagree with you.
All right,
Philosophical Friday here.
We will agree to disagree because just because you won't say something to my face, but you behind the cloak of anonymity or behind the keyboard, even if your name is on it, will say it. To me, that's a window into the kind of person you really are. You should not talk to people differently face-to-face than you would behind their back. That's
Jason,
how I feel.
You
Hey,
do that.
we're agreeing to disagree.
You do that.
I don't.
No, but you do that.
I
Yes,
don't
you
think
do.
I do. No. All right.
You've
I
said
don't-
things on this show that you would never say to a player, or you would not do that. You just wouldn't. Come on.
I feel,
No, that's me.
yeah, I don't.
No,
think-
Jason does
I-
it too. And Jason's
if
not
it
bad. I'm not
happens,
sitting here
it is
saying,
extremely
I'm not saying
rare.
he says it all the time.
No,
Yeah,
I
but it
would
happens.
argue it's extremely
And that's not a
rare.
window into your soul. I don't think that's a window into your soul.
Okay. Again,
Well, maybe I'm
the
wrong.
first sentence, agree to disagree. Here's the deal. So the poll question was this. At the tailgate tour stop in Madison, Packers defensive end Lucas Van Ness got huge applause for his answer about wanting to sack Aaron Rodgers if he quarterbacks the Steelers this season. Now, Jesse, correct me if I'm wrong, but you interpreted this reaction, the fact that the question was posed, the reaction, the cheers, that people don't like Aaron Rodgers. Packers fans, at least the ones in attendance at the feed mill, they don't like Aaron Rodgers. Is that an accurate depiction of your interpretation?
Correct. I think Aaron Rodgers is public enemy number one for Packers fans based on the reaction Lucas Van Ness had to the question posed to him by a fan about sacking Aaron Rodgers. The question was applauded with rigorous cheer. The response was even applauded more. That's what stood out to me from the tailgate tour.
So, Jesse, even with when Billy Schrader was talking about the Bears and how they suck and how he hates them, even with all of that applause that people had about beating the Bears, you still think Rodgers more than the Bears?
Public enemy number one, a individual player. Like the idea.
Now you're specifying.
The idea. Well, I learned from the best.
You're pushing back on everything today. Today's Friday. Did you want to tell me it's Thursday?
No, it's Friday. I'm not.
Okay.
I don't lie.
Glad we can agree on something.
The idea of the Bears, the idea of the Vikings, like obviously that's a long-standing 100-year rivalry, whatever you want, like that. That's been around forever. The idea of that. But when you say individual player, public enemy number one, for a while, Kaepernick destroyed the Packers. He was public enemy number one. Russell Wilson had a nice little rivalry with Aaron Rodgers when the middle 2010s, when both of those teams were really good. Like, that was public enemy number one for a bit, especially with the Wisconsin ties. I think right now, based on that, more than Caleb Williams, more than Dan Campbell, more than Justin Jefferson, Aaron Rodgers is public enemy number one individually for Packers fans.
Well, our polling data does not support that hypothesis. So Brian responded to our poll by saying, why even ask this? Well, here's why. Because I am genuinely curious how people feel about him. I was sent something from Vice. It's a channel on your cable system. And it's this half-hour mini documentary in a series called The Grudge. And it's about Rodgers versus Favre. And it's one of the... I don't... Like, there's one person who's interviewed heavily in there that I don't even know who she is. There's Rob Reichel, who still covers the team. And then there's Dylan Tomlinson, who covered the team many years ago. And now he's a normal person as opposed to working in the media. He's got a normal job. And there's factual errors in it from the producer. I mean, it's bad. But I thought back to it. It sent me back to the summer of 2008 when you were a player and remembering how ugly that was. And then Murphy had mentioned the tailgate tour that year and how difficult that was. And so to answer Brian's question on why I ask this, I don't believe, however I may feel about Aaron Rodgers, and my feelings about him are more nuanced than the people who think they know how I feel think I feel. But I thought, again, you're doing this. Are you going to be this way for 3 hours? Because I don't know if I can handle 3 hours.
I can't laugh at your nuanced stuff. I could. What are you talking about? I can have an opinion. I didn't
Jeff
say
Grimes,
a word.
Can you come on right now? So
I didn't realize that the thought police is in play here. I mean, I think I can think how I think. Hey, come on.
Did you get up early for pickleball today? Did you win?
I didn't. No, I'm well rested. You
Could've
disagree with me on something, and now you're getting all personal with me, and I'm not going to do that to you.
Oh, thank you. Just make sure you tell me. Just make sure you tell me how you really feel about me. So the reason why I thought this question was instructive was based on the reaction to Lucas Van Ness yesterday, who I wrote about at channel3000.com. We'll get to that a little bit later. But I want to know if people feel so negatively, strongly against Aaron Rodgers, right? Because even, well, not Jesse, but many who supported Brett Favre during the summer of 2008, once he went to the Vikings, that was a bridge too far for them. Aaron Rodgers, to this point, has not gone to the Vikings. And the theoretical situation is him playing for Pittsburgh and playing against the Packers. That game would be in Pittsburgh or in Dublin. It would not be at Lambeau Field. But in this hypothetical world, if he came back to Lambeau as a member of the Steelers, not as a Bear, not as a Lion, not as a Viking, as a Steeler, I was curious whether people would boo him because I thought that would tell us how strongly negative they feel about him. And I did not think it would be the way it's turned out. And I'm pleased to see it. Because right now, with 869 votes, which your guy Elon, I'm paying for this blue check. I don't understand why my numbers haven't gone up more. 75.9% of you said no, you would politely clap or be silent. And a good point from John, who said there should have been a third option, cheer/thankful for all the great years. It's a very fair critique. He's right. I should have made a third choice. But bottom line is only 24.1% of you would boo. And I found that encouraging. Yeah. Am I misreading our data?
Do you believe it? Because Jesse does not believe the polling. Jesse believes that if you're
on an anonymous poll?
I don't know.
People do
you
it.
have to ask Jesse in the poll. I don't think people do. But, again, we have a difference of opinion, as has been specified by this first segment, on how that all plays out.
Wait till you see what I just tweeted about you.
Oh, boy.
I don't care.
So, to go back on your social commentary from the top of the show here.
Yeah, great. I'd love to get back to that.
I agree with Tausch, which is a popular T-shirt among our fans, including those at the tailgate, too.
Yeah. Order them soon from Team Apparel.
I think people are generally more cordial in personal interactions in real life than they are online in comments and however else. The exception to that, I think, is when you are in a mass group of people that are
mob mentality.
Mob mentality is a great way to approach
Jesse,
that.
before you keep going, because it's interesting you just said that.
Because Tausch needs to interrupt you.
Do you think people are doing that because that's how they really feel, or because they're scared?
Scared?
Doing what? What
Like,
do you mean?
I remember the old days on Scalzi and Bruss' old show. I don't remember what it was called.
It's called
but
Scalzo
one of the
and
producers is just bashing. No, it was, I think, Off the Rails or On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
It wasn't Scalzo. So instead of interrupting me, but anyways,
Tony
TJ Hogan,
co-host of that, though.
TJ Hogan was the producer. And TJ, I was on with them. And he is just crushing Clay Matthews. And it was crushing him. And I said, would you say that to his face? And he said, that's not fair. And I said, what do you mean that's not fair? Like, that's where, so maybe you're right. Maybe people want to be jerks and do that all the time. But when they're faced with that, and Jesse, what do you think on that? Because that is the interesting part to me. That does go back to the polling and the mass. There is a mob mentality in people. There's no doubt. We've seen that. That's been around since Caesar. And mob mentality's been around forever.
The Ides of March, some might say.
It's been around at least 6 weeks, yeah. So I think if you got 80,000 people at Lambeau Field, what's the capacity at Lambeau Field?
80,000 and change.
That's about that.
Nice.
That number.
You get 80,000 people at Lambeau Field, and you get, if the Packers tailgate tour was an indication of people who are wanting to cheer against Aaron Rodgers, you get, let's say, 10 to 15,000 as he comes running out of the tunnel start to boo. I think everybody else is going to hop on board and boo the opposing starting quarterback. That's what you normally would do at a Packers game. You don't just sit there silently when Ben Roethlisberger comes running out of the tunnel. You boo him. So because he's the opponent, because there's that history, because certain people in the fan base would feel that strongly, as 24% do in our poll, I think the rest of the stadium would hop on board and do it.
Hey, Jesse, I'm not booing Aiden O'Connell, though. I don't have any feelings. If Aiden O'Connell's coming out, nobody's booing him. You have to earn the boo.
No,
not every quarterback gets booed. You got to earn a boo.
I bet the New Orleans Pelicans starters, someone got booed last night, even though no Bucs fans probably heard of any of the 5 players who started for the Pellies last night at Fiserv Forum.
All right.
I didn't want to interrupt you guys because you're making great strides in understanding the human condition. Again, I believe that people want to be jerks, but they are cowards when faced with saying it to the person's face, but they really feel the way they feel. And quite frankly, I want to believe better in many people, but there are plenty of people that have disappointed me to show me their true colors. And I think it's much easier to show that you're a jerk when you don't have everyone seeing you act like a jerk firsthand. So that's fine. We can disagree on this. The bottom line is I don't see any upside in voting, no, I would politely clap or stand silent, when it doesn't even say how you voted on here. Your vote is anonymous. So if there was a way to know how all 873 people who have voted, if there was a way to track how they voted, and they're concerned about people knowing, people are going to know that I would say that I would boo for him, so I'm going to say that I'm going to clap for him, even though I really wouldn't. I'd boo him because I hate him. I find that hard to believe. But that's just my position. So, be that as it may.
Can we all be honest? Chef Ed's on the text line here. To be honest, I just don't care about Aaron Rodgers anymore. That's just not true. I don't believe that. I think we are stale to is he coming back to play? But
I think people want to no longer care about Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to. I am in that group. I get it. I understand the fatigue. There are other programs across ESPN Wisconsin, believe it or not, especially after how much we talked about him pretty much every single day for about 2 years. There are shows that talk about him more than we do. at this point, because I am sensitive to, I don't want people turning off our show. And I do believe there are people that will turn off our show if we talk too much about Aaron Rodgers. I am more interested in how fans feel about him, because there is still the possibility out there that all this changes because Aaron Rodgers keeps dragging his feet and leading on the Pittsburgh Steelers, waiting to see if J.J. McCarthy has a setback with his knee or looks bad during the offseason program, and his phone rings from a 612 area code. I still believe that is out there as a possibility. Because I was told, much like I was told that the Badgers would go to the Final Four, I was told that Pat McAfee's show in Pittsburgh would include some sort of announcement from Aaron Rodgers that he'd be playing for the Steelers. That event has come and gone, and he did not join the Steelers. He remains, quote, engaged, according to reports, in his interest in the Steelers, but I think he's still waiting to see if the Purple have to call him. And again, then all bets are off. Then the Packers are playing him twice.
No, there's no bets off. He's the Vikings quarterback. He's going to be booed worse than Favre.
No doubt. 100%. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I mean. We're not betting on that. We all agree on that.
Oh.
Just like we all agree that there are no drafts with Pella.
There's not, but we're starting to see. I see photos on Twitter now of the big stage going up. You see all the excitement going to be happening. A lot of buzz about the draft up in Green Bay, but you're not going to find drafts seeping through your windows when you have Pella's windows and doors. In fact, you should make Pella your number one pick, because right now you take advantage of no-interest financing options, or you can get free glass upgrades. Their talented designers and installers can match your home's unique decor through seamless customizations. Certain restrictions do apply. This deal ends April 30th, so place your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
For those of you in the YouTube comments and elsewhere hoping that the Aaron Rodgers portion of the program has reached its conclusion, I'm happy to report that it has. We'll talk about something else. So come on back. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Hey, it's Jesse Nelson, and if we're talking about the draft up in Green Bay, we're also thinking about having Pepsi and Pepsi Zero Sugar in hand, the perfect tailgate mixer, or just to have on its own. Have you tried Pepsi Zero Sugar yet? It's all the great taste of a Pepsi with 0 calories, 0 sugar. It is incredible. It's so good that at the draft in Green Bay, the Pepsi Challenge is coming back. Check it out at the NFL Draft Experience. Pepsi, a proud partner of the NFL and the NFL Draft, and locally proud partner of the Wisconsin Badgers as well. Pepsi, enjoy one. Pepsi and Pepsi Zero Sugar today.
We ask and you answer. Tune in to Jim, Matt, and Molly every weekday 4 to 6 and follow at Jim, Matt, Molly on X to vote in daily poll questions presented by Siding Unlimited, your local window installation pros.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love, with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Hey, Gina, did you hear about the draft?
Wayne, there's no draft at Pella.
There's definitely a draft. Right, Wilde? Yeah, everybody's talking about it.
Pella windows are constructed of the highest quality. No drafts. But Pella should be everyone's number one pick because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get no interest financing options or free glass upgrades.
So where is the draft?
Coon. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply and sport 30-2025.
ESPN Madison and Zimbrick Honda are celebrating the area's best high school sports stories with the Game Changers of the Month. Follow ESPN Madison on social media to see the teams recognized for making a positive impact in the community. It's the Game Changers of the Month, presented by Zimbrick Honda.
This update sponsored by UW Credit Union. For every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here for every you. Baseball meets the gridiron for a special Brewers football jersey giveaway Saturday, April 19th. Courtesy of American Family Insurance. Be one of the first 25,000 fans through the gates to get yours. Get tickets now at brewers.com/giveaways. Join UW Credit Union at uwcu.org. Insured by NCUA.
You remember the moments from that magical March.
Side Decker, it's a three. Got it!
On June 26th, celebrate the squad with Made 'em Believe, a special night with Bo Ryan, Frank Kaminsky, and Sam Decker.
Here's Kaminsky, the drop stab, that's his favorite. And the two.
Presented by Bud Light, Michelob Ultra, Potosi Varsity Ale, and Potosi Hard Seltzer. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
The Milwaukee Bucks, the Detroit Pistons,
Reverse layup in, what a play by the Greek Freak.
the Milwaukee Brewers, the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yelich demolishes one up into the night sky.
Tonight on 100.5 ESPN.
Quick question, completely unrelated to the former Packers quarterbacks of yesteryear. Obviously, Halloween is the number one candy around the house holiday, right? It's not close.
Yeah.
But agree. Easter is coming, and there's jelly bean. There's a jelly bean bowl upstairs. There's a bowl that's got like chocolates, like Easter bunny shaped Reese's peanut butter cups and everything else. Is Easter the number 2 candy holiday where you're just eating random candy every time you walk through the kitchen?
I was going to go Christmas.
I think Valentine's Day is probably Christmas is probably in that ballpark too, right? Easter, because you have so much of those peanut butter eggs and there's so much chocolat, I'm going to say Valentine's Day is going to be ahead of Christmas or of Easter, though. And I might be wrong. It's just my gut.
So where now we've got Christmas, Valentine's Day. So clearly the
does Fudge
prevailing
count?
opinion is I'm wrong.
I mean, is Fudge part of the equation?
Why? What is the Fudge holiday?
What's Fudge affiliated with?
Well, I'm asking, is Fudge part of the chocolate?
Sure,
complex?
we're gonna put. Well,
Yeah.
let's loop the Fudge in. How does that change things?
All right. Well, then there's no doubt. Christmas is 2. If you're adding Fudge, Christmas is a heavy
Fudge
2.
takes up that much of your pie chart of Christmas.
Fudge is just a big part. Fudge. I just remember Santa would eat fudge at our house. Fudge is a big blanket deal in the Tauscher houses.
He doesn't get any fudge at our house. He gets cookies and milk.
You're overinflating
and then
fudge.
You put nuts in the fudge, and then I don't know what the deal with Door County is. Is Door County the fudge capital of? Is every tourist spot have to have fudge? Because Door County and Wisconsin Dells, it is Fudge City, USA, and you go somewhere else, and it's like a tourist city. Everybody's got fudge. What's the deal with fudge and vacations? I don't get that. I get ice cream. There's ice cream shops at all these spots because you got kids, Disney, blah, blah, blah. But why is fudge so predominant in tourist traps? Can anybody explain that to me?
I don't even like fudge.
Like, you go to Hawaii and you got, like, a fudge shop out on...
Was there a Tokyo fudge? Was there a Hiroshima fudge shop on your trip?
I didn't look. I'm talking U.S.
U.S. Okay.
Well, thank you for clarifying. So when you went to see... All right, so when you went to the archaeological dig in South Dakota, was there an adjacent fudge shop?
So...
Old Faithful.
Obviously not at the archaeological spot, but there is some drugstore there, and it's Fudge City, USA.
Yeah,
it's a big.
Yeah.
There you go. Popular tourist spot, Fudge. There's a big corn hut out there. Fudge.
Corn hut.
Mount Rushmore. Fudge.
The St. Louis Arch can confirm fudge in the Arch.
Why
the
is
museum
Fudge related to
shop.
travel? Is it an easy travel? Is it, like, I don't get it. Because you don't see Fudge. I don't even know, and I think Quick Trip's got everything. I don't know if Quick Trip's got Fudge. Like, I don't even know.
Is it because it's, like, such a novelty thing that when you, like,
I
oh,
don't
it's a
know.
special
That's why
thing,
I'm
we're
asking.
on vacation. Hey, there's some fudge. Sure, why not? We're on vacation.
Well, that's ice cream, though. I mean, ice cream and or custard. But
Beck
fudge,
and I'll sit
I'm
around
telling
on
you.
Tuesday night would be, let's go get some ice cream. We never say, let's go get
Jesse,
some fudge.
if you just in Madison, or if you want down to Milwaukee, or any of the cities in the state of Wisconsin, you're going to have to dig deep to go find fudge. You go down to the Dells, you trip, you're landing in fudge.
Yeah, you're right about that. I'm with that. I'm with you there for sure.
Why? Can someone explain why?
I don't know.
It is
cotton candy at a baseball game and at a fair. All right, you deep fry stuff.
People get
What's
cotton
the
candy
deal
at baseball
with
games?
fudge being at all these spots?
That's like exclusively where I've eaten cotton candy in my life, is at a Brewers game.
Okay. I always think of that as like the circus. All right, I have no idea the popularity of fudge at tourist destinations. I don't. You're right about the Dells. You're right about Door County. You are right on that, and I don't have a good explanation for you. The popularity is hard to explain because, again, how often do you eat fudge? Are you a big fudge guy?
Really, since a kid, I'm not a monster fudge guy.
Apparently, it's
not my deal.
It makes Christmas the number 2 candy holiday for you, though.
It
was
the
a game
needle.
Changer. It's a field
Well,
tilter.
Jesse, that's what you and Becca and that little tin that you make. It's candy. You give candy. Is it possible? No, I'm not going to go there. It's definitely Halloween and then Christmas.
See, and I think of Christmas as Christmas cookies. I think Christmas, if I think of candy, I just think of candy canes. I didn't think Christmas was so heavily.
No,
and again, I
like
was
the little version.
Nobody's putting candy canes in the top 10 things you think about at Christmas.
No.
When it comes to candy, again, I'm apparently wrong on everything today, so that's fine.
Red and green M&Ms.
Stop being a baby. Stop.
Oh, now I'm
you
being
get a little bit of
baby.
pushback and you be a baby. Get over it.
I
Move on with
still
your
wanna
life.
know-
But the candy cane is not part of the top 10 of Christmas candies. It's not.
Smithsonian Magazine from Hunter Vaughn.
I don't. Who gives a Smithsonian?
He would read Smithsonian Magazine.
Yeah, that is his go-to. Well, Smithsonian said the candy canes are number 3.
Smithsonian Magazine. You're going to owe Hunter an apology. The headline: Why does every tourist attraction sell fudge? Apologize to Smithsonian right now.
I don't know.
Do they sell fudge at the Smithsonian?
Yeah.
That's
Smithsonian
a great
museums
question.
have fudge?
This is from Smithsonian Magazine. I'm using up my apparently one allotted free article for Smithsonian Magazine on my phone to read it. But we will get further information. I don't have time to read this story to everyone right now. I know you're disappointed about that. Right now, Tausch needs to tell us about American Family Insurance instead.
I will, but one of our very great fans up in the Door County area, Jimmy, just texted me and said, Fudge can be transported home and given as a gift so you can tell people that you are on vacation? You can't do that with ice cream. And then this is a very bold statement he finishes his text up with. Everyone loves Fudge. Jim, I don't think that's the case. I don't think
Jimbo.
Now you're starting to branch out. It used to just be a chocolate gooey fudge. Now you're starting to see pink fudge and orange fudge, all these other fudges. So I don't know. You're thinking of American Family Insurance is a proud sponsor of Wilde and Tausch. Been that way from the jump. A lot of fudge. For almost 100 years, they've been committed to making life better with the right home and auto protection, so you're free to enjoy your dreams when you're on vacation eating fudge. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com.
No one wakes up in the morning and goes, I need some fudge today. One fudge seller at a San Francisco tourist attraction told him, that guy sells fudge. Very fair point. 262 on the text line. We just got back from Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg, Tennessee on spring break.
Dollywood.
And can confirm many fudge shops. Also, one of them, you buy 1 pound, you get a half a pound free.
Wow.
Who's eating all this fudge?
I don't know.
All right, I'm going to
like
continue
a peanut brittle would be better, wouldn't it? I'd like a good peanut brittle.
If someone goes on vacation and they bring you fudge, are you excited?
Happy about it.
Right,
No.
You're not excited about that.
Oh,
No,
wow,
and-
fudge, sweet.
And then you would never eat
this
it.
is something that
Totally eating it.
Helmut, my older brother, does this. He'll always get a shirt because I do think people want to let you know you're on vacation. I do think people like that, or that you visited historic landmarks.
Or
I
our
think,
Japanese T-shirts.
I went to the Arches National Park. You want to be able to, and then, it's the conversation piece, which I've been telling my kids would be a good idea to start doing, is selling T-shirts that spark conversations. That's a home run.
Entrepreneurship at a young age, yeah. I agree with Tausch. That one would be a top seller. So wait, what did you bring us from Japan?
Chopsticks.
Oh.
More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
We're on the Packers
If they're not better this year,
because we're on Wisconsin sports.
there's going to be a lot of seats warming up.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
Why is life better with American Family Insurance? Because every policy comes with something very special. A trusted agent who's there to help protect your dreams by finding the right coverage at the right price. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Look what we have here. It's the refreshing deliciousness of a Pepsi mini can. It's the perfect complement to any meal. The dash of indulgence your day was dreaming of. The sip that'll have you singing Pepsi.
Nope, not again, Steve. Let's take a cue from the Pepsi mini can and pack all that awesomeness you're feeling into a much smaller treat for everyone. Deal?
So, big awesomeness, smaller size. I think I've got just the thing.
Pepsi mini can. Mini can, big taste.
Mark Tusher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott, Garrett, and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
And Madison.
Hey football fans, Verizon is giving you the chance to win the ultimate draft experience with the Road to the Draft sweepstakes. 10 lucky winners will win tickets for the first day of the 2025 draft in Green Bay, including round-trip car service from Milwaukee, hotel accommodations, plus access to the Verizon viewing zone where you'll be taken care of like a first-round pick. Don't miss your chance to win the ultimate draft experience powered by Verizon. Hurry to select Wisconsin Verizon locations to enter by April 13th. No purchase necessary to enter. Must be legal U.S. resident of Wisconsin or Illinois. Age 21 years or older. Void where prohibited. For official rules and full details, visit www.espnwisconsincontest.com.
All you have is one chance after an accident, one decision on who to call, one shot to get the help you need. Don't waste it on the one offer you get from your insurance company. Make the one call to Gruber Law Offices. It's the only one you'll need to make. Call us today. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Free Food Friday on ESPN Madison is brought to you by Vintage Brewing Company. Whether you're looking to get carry-out, delivery, or dine in, Vintage Brewing has lots of great options on their menu. Vintage Brewing Company prides themselves on being a great place to hang out and enjoy classic Midwestern hospitality. Vintage Brewing Company has multiple award-winning beers, so be sure to try one the next time you're in. Head to vintagebrewingcompany.com to make a reservation today. That's vintagebrewingcompany.com.
Outdoor Living Unlimited's showroom on Stoughton Road is absolutely a must-see. Nobody builds a better backyard better than Outdoor Living Unlimited. New deck, outdoor kitchen, screen room, fire pit, and in-ground pool. Outdoor Living Unlimited is Wisconsin's leader in building the new deck. Wisconsin's #1 TimberTech decking installer. Looking for a backyard hardscape design? Stop by Outdoor Living Unlimited's amazing Madison showroom. Visit our open house on Saturday, April 19th from 9 to 1 p.m. and meet the team. Or visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
We're on the Badgers.
The expectations for Badger basketball that I have to let go of was the Bo Ryan expectation.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
And that's not Greg Gard's fault. That's the NCAA's fault.
This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
Boy, the history of Fudge is some interesting stuff. Really dates back to the Victorian era. I spent that entire commercial break reading the Smithsonian Magazine story, and I still don't know why all these vacation destinations have fudge. It's just been that way for a long time.
Easy transport. Although I'm not sure it's hot. You put it in a hot bag. You know.
Yeah, it's not easy transport. Like it's got to be either refrigerated.
You don't want the fudge to melt.
Yeah, put it in the sun. It's tough.
Jesse, I can only imagine, given this show's traditional results, is when we somehow wander off. Like, think about today's show. We went from Aaron Rodgers to social commentary on whether people's online behavior is anathema to who they really are or a window into who they really are.
Mob mentality.
To now, why is there fudge at every tourist destination? I can only imagine that this has lit up the talk and text line, the carbless talk and text line. Less is more. I'm guessing more is a good way to describe the number of messages you've got.
It has. I had a call during the commercial break. Chad could not stay on the phone with us. He had to run into work.
He's a fudge. Does he work at a fudge shop?
I had to go make the fudge this morning. But Sue in Sussex, also with the same question Chad had here on the carbless talk and text line. Saltwater taffy seems to go along the lines of fudge also. No one ever just says, I could go for some saltwater taffy today. But when you're out at the candy store or you're walking the streets of whatever tourist place you are.
At the candy shop. That would have been...
Is that by Sabrina Carpenter?
I don't know. I haven't gotten to all her songs. They only play the 2 songs she sings.
So how does saltwater taffy fit into all this, Tausch, in your social commentary on candy?
It's a good point. It's a great question.
Yeah, I haven't. Maybe it's just because of my past history with fudge that just catches my eye more. But, yeah, taffy, all these places have to see, now, if I was you, I would jump in and say, what? Ugh. I'm not going to do that, though, Jason. You're rolling your eyes at me. You need different revenue streams. No business alone can run on fudge. Like, I can't imagine you can only be a fudge operation. You got to have some other SKUs, and obviously taffy is in that same bloodline as a fudge. So, yeah, I can understand that.
What does that mean, given my history with fudge? That's all I was curious about.
Did I not just tell you how that was a memory of Christmas for me?
Right, but that's, I mean,
you guys would leave fudge for Santa as opposed to cookies.
Yeah.
But
that's. You're right. It's totally me. I'm imagining this. I'm totally imagining this. That doesn't strike me as a significant history of fudge. Like, if you had gone on every vacation with your mom and dad and your brothers and everyone went and then you guys got fudge on every trip, that's my history of fudge. The idea that you included it in your little plate for Santa Claus does not strike me as a significant amount of history with fudge that you would be so fascinated by fudge. That's all. Fair?
Well, you're wrong. No, it's not fair. There's certain core memories that you have growing up that you remember, and then that sticks
one of
with
your core memories is giving Santa Claus
around Christmas time. Fudge was a specialty. It was, wow, we get fudge.
You just said a minute ago you'd prefer peanut brittle. So it's not that meaningful to you.
No. Fudge is now readily available at our fingertips, whereas a kid, fudge was a Christmas time delicacy. So, yes.
Because we didn't go on enough trips.
I don't understand how you don't understand that. I don't understand how you don't understand that.
For the record, I can think of 2 fudge places easily accessible in the greater Madison area near where we live, Tausch. One is near your favorite ice cream place with
Wait, do they sell ice cream? Because then you can say who they are.
No, one is near
because you need other revenue streams.
One is near your ice cream
fudger.
place with the nice fella at the drive-thru at a cheese store, I believe. And then the other is downtown near one of Madison's entertainment attractions. So it is on brand with people who are traveling and coming into the area, stopping to get fudge.
So I've told you guys that the best soft serve, I can't say the name of the place, but you guys know what I'm talking about.
Wait, it's ice cream.
The guy called in.
You can say that.
No, but I'm not doing
Is that the rule?
No, I'm not doing that.
The
guy called in. He was a big energy guy at that certain store with the soft serve ice cream.
I don't remember. Who is it?
It's great soft serve. I don't remember the guy's name.
They might have
He was
root
a
beer.
fantastic. Yeah. My kids believe that they found better soft serve in Japan. I disagreed, but they
from a kiosk on the streets.
No, it was not from a kiosk or a vending machine. But they also, there is something about tourism that fires ice cream at you, and probably because it's so gosh darn good. But they do not push fudge on their tourists like we do.
Buzzy and Beloit, fudge is a C+ at best. However, still much better than LVN. Yeah, we appreciate that, Buzzy.
Snap.
We will get back to LVN at some point, non-Aaron Rodgers related. But first, we need to play trivia. Jesse, it's Friday. What's today's category, and what caller would you like?
Daniel the landscaper. Mark, I don't know what household you grew up in, but I don't know of anybody that was looking forward to fudge at Christmas. It was presents for us.
I'm not saying that was
more.
the only thing. You guys, it was a delicacy. It was something, wow.
It was your history with fudge. It was a defining moment of your childhood.
I remember it. I remember that. And then we had this an old tree thing that was hollowed out, and you put walnuts in with a little cracker thing that you'd crush the walnut and eat that in there too. That was a little side piece to the fudge.
Side piece
If you
to
didn't
the
have
fudge. Walnuts.
It was a side
in a little tree thing. Hollowed out little tree thing.
Yes, there was a candy dish. It was a candy dish that the tree was hollowed out. It was an awesome candy dish, but they put nuts,
like a full
walnuts.
tree?
I don't know. My mom can remind me if it was real or if it was lacquered.
Like in
I
the
believe
tree,
it was
or
lacquered.
was it like sitting like horizontal, or was this like a vertical
There was
dish?
There was like a plastic tray that had little gummy things in it, which was awesome. Green, red, like the cinnamon drop deals, which was awesome. And then there was a tree thing with a nutcracker that would crack walnuts. And then there was fudge. That is what I remember being up there. You put it next to where Sandy would come.
At the Tauscher house. I still want to know what the hollowed-out tree thing was. Jesse, what's the trivia category?
That's
And
where
who
we
do you
put
want?
the walnuts. What do you mean?
The shells
that's where you put
or
the walnuts?
the
actual nuts. And then there was a little thing in the middle of it that you'd put. It was a really well-designed, nice candy tray that turned into a nut tray.
All right. D's Nuts conversation. What caller would you like, and what's the category?
Caller 9, let's do today. Caller 9 for Badgers Trivia Friday. Bringing it back today because we have offensive coordinator Jeff Grimes scheduled to appear at 11 o'clock this morning.
How is this not the history of fudge? How are we not doing a fudge
Believe
trivia?
it or not, that wasn't on the show sheet today.
How did we get? My question, because I grabbed some jelly beans while I was upstairs.
Candy
we have
holiday.
now.
Yeah.
I'm glad I could contribute somehow. Caller 9 right now, 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. Caller 9 right now plays trivia. Want to remind you, Verizon is giving you the chance to win the ultimate draft experience with the Road to the Draft sweepstakes. 10 lucky winners will win tickets to the first day of the 2025 NFL Draft right here in Green Bay. And that includes round-trip car service from Milwaukee, hotel accommodations, plus access to the Verizon viewing zone where you'll be taken care of like a first-round pick. Don't miss your chance to win the ultimate draft experience powered by Verizon. Hurry to select Wisconsin Verizon locations by April 13th, which is Sunday, to enter. Now, here's the interesting dilemma for me. I'm going to the Verizon store in Green Bay today. I think there's been some nervousness with some of the goings-on in the global markets that the price of phones is going to go up. So we're going to upgrade our phones, which we've been putting off. So I'm going to be at Verizon. I'm going to ask them about this great contest. I don't think I'm eligible. But I'm going to go to the Verizon store, and you should as well. Again, it is the Verizon Ultimate Draft Experience in Green Bay. Caller 9 for trivia will play next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
The Milwaukee Bucks, the Detroit Pistons,
Reverse layup in. What a play by the Greek Freak.
the Milwaukee Brewers, the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yelich demolishes one up into the night sky.
Tonight on 100.5 ESPN.
Mark Tauscher here, and I'm ready to enjoy another Feel Good Friday of Wilde and Tausch, painted by Home and Lindsay Paints. Well, stick around to hear a few of the best feel-good stories of the week coming up to close out today's show. And if you want to make sure you get your next paint project at home done right, well, then I suggest you do what my family did and trust the pro painters at Home and Lindsay Paints. Get connected with the perfect pro painter for what your project calls for by simply stopping into any Madison area Home and Lindsay location. The team at Home and Lindsay will help pair you up with the best pro painter for the job. And we've seen how up and down Wisconsin's weather can be over the last month. Home and Lindsay is the one paint you can trust to withstand the challenges of Wisconsin's weather year-round. That's what makes it Wisconsin's best paint. Home and Lindsay, great paint, great people, and check them out at homeandlindsay.com. Stick around for Feel Good Friday coming up to close out this edition of Wilde and Tausch, painted by Home and Lindsay Paints.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com. 1 of 1. Expect high energy from transfer Nick Boyd. Boyd, a former standout at Florida Atlantic and San Diego State. FAU play-by-play voice Ken LaVicka joined the latest episode of the Jump Around Digital Show. His one word to describe Wisconsin's newest edition:
dog. The guy loves the gym. On road trips, he was getting pumps in all the time in the fitness center. Once it's time to play, he is a dog, because as good as he is from a basketball standpoint, he might be a better trash talker, and he does not back down from anybody.
Everyone is talking about the draft, but you won't feel one from high-quality Pella windows. Get no-interest financing options or free glass upgrades today at PellaWI.com.
It's our lowest prices of the season, in-store and online at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Right now, shop the season's best values on supplies to make projects your own. Like select DeWalt 20-volt tool batteries, just $37 while supplies last. Save 20% on assorted Longfield spring bulbs. Assorted DIY oil change essentials, also 20% off. And a Kurt loaded trailer hitch mount with 2-inch ball, $29.99. Don't miss our lowest prices of the season, only at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Ben Brust here to tell you about Zimbrick European. They're Mercedes, Audi, Porsche, and certified pre-owns. But the best part is I've been working with them since 2018, and the evolution has been a 2-door, a 4-door, and now it's time for an SUV. My life has changed, and it's changed with Zimbrick European. Being a dad has made it really important to have the comfort and the safety that the SUV will bring me. Again, Zimbrick European off the Beltline at Rimrock Road. Of course, I found the sexiest car on the lot. Check them out.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
If you're looking for a special piece of jewelry for any occasion, Condon Jewelers is always there for you. Condon Jewelers has the best selection of jewelry you'll ever find and guaranteed to have the lowest prices in the Madison area. Free shipping is always available. Visit CondonJeweler.com or call 241-3406 and ask for Jim, the owner, who's at the store every day. Shop locally. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Introducing the newest carbless flavor, Mango Vodka. Flavored with the essence of the ripest, freshest mangoes, carbless mango vodka will transport your taste buds to a sunny beach getaway. New flavor, still the same carbless crafted cocktails with 0 carbs, 0 sugars, and only 100 calories. Enjoy a refreshing vodka cocktail without the guilt. 4 packs of the new carbless mango vodka cocktail are available in stores near you. Find your bliss today at drinkcarbless.com and escape with every sip.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Jerry did not expect Fudge Friday. But he says his stomach hurts from laughing for the last 20 minutes. That's what we try to do here.
Taffy Tuesday coming up next week.
As long as your stomach doesn't hurt from eating too much fudge.
Picture that I sent, that since I couldn't provide the details to you, Jason, that I know you're always looking for, those dazzling details on this tree trunk nut harvesting deal. I think I sent it to you, and that is
this yours? Your mom sent this? Sent you a picture?
My mom did not. A fan of our show sent it to us.
So this isn't even it.
No, this is it. It's the same thing.
It is not the official Tauscher family one, but it is. Apparently, they were mass produced from a tree trunk.
But it is. Yes. Yeah, there you go. Well, that's the way to put it in there. That's nice, Jesse.
Looks like you could use a new screen cover.
What's great about that is you have the big
also,
thing
Brian
where there's
D is texting you. Just a heads
Brian
up.
D just texted you. Yeah. Where there is where you crack the nut, and then surgically, if you look back on that picture, there's
hold that
two
back up to see who else is texting you.
The 2 scalpel-like things to actually dig the nut out of the shell. In there, if you don't get a clean break from the nutcracker.
Wait, so those 2 vertical skinny pieces, those are scalpels to remove the nuts from the cracked
In essence,
shell.
that's what they are there for. Yes.
How do you crack the nut then? You just smash it on top of that big middle thing?
Go back and show again, Jesse. It is basically a plier-type cracker that is held together, and if you pull that up, it will open. You put the nut in the top part of it, and you crack down on it. It's the centerpiece there.
Oh, okay.
That's it. What a nutcracker is. I thought your daughter was in the nutcracker for a while.
Yeah, the nutcracker that they use in the nutcracker is more of a toy, and it looks like a soldier, not like a hollowed-out tree or whatever it is you called it. All right, let's play trivia. Let's welcome in our contestant. It is Juan in Madison. Juan, good morning, buddy. Sorry to keep you waiting. You a big fudge guy? You like walnuts?
I think that walnuts go good in fudge, yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah. Well, Tausch has got just the nutcracker for you, and he's got a couple of good fudge spots that he'd like to recommend for you. It is trivia time. The category is Badgers Trivia Friday. Tausch, do you intend to participate in any way, shape, or form?
I do. I will take the question that is written out for me. Absolutely.
Okay. All right, Juan. Question number one, then, from me is this. Prior to becoming the offensive coordinator at Wisconsin, Jeff Grimes, who is scheduled to appear with us at 11 a.m. today, was the offensive coordinator at which of these schools? Was it Kansas, Boise State, or Mary Hardin Baylor?
I'm going to go with A.
Rock Chalk Jayhawk. Don't tell that to John Anderson, but yes, correct. 1 for 1.
All right. Wisconsin volleyball hosts an exhibition spring match at the Fieldhouse this Wednesday, which you can listen to on 100.5 ESPN Madison and 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam. Against which in-state opponent? Is it Marquette, Milwaukee, or Platteville?
Platteville. Marquette.
The Golden
It
Eagles.
is Marquette,
Yeah.
yes.
Golden Eagles.
They've got a new coach. They also have another game against UW Green Bay later, and Sydney and I were trying to make it down for one of those. So it sounds like fun with those spring matches. All right, let's bounce back, Juan, with question 3, and that is this. Which of these players is the most recent Wisconsin Badger to be selected in the first round of the National Football League draft? Most recent Badgers first-round pick. Is it Jonathan Taylor, T.J. Watts, or Ryan Ramczyk?
JT.
Are you sure about that?
I'm going to go. Okay, I'm going to go with Ramczyk.
JT, TJ, double R. I'm not sure what exactly happened before you said you'd go with Ramczyk.
I think there's controversy. If I was if I was on the panel of judging this, I would say that was very shady, is what I would say.
Why? He clearly was guessing him. He had an instinct, but the is very clearly I'm not committing to that answer.
No doubt. I would definitely award him his.
Someone here wanted to jump in to break the silence,
and that was you by saying, "Are you sure about that?" Which, of course,
you didn't need to interject.
If he had it right, you wouldn't.
Sure, I would.
Had you not interjected, nobody would say anything. Juan was going through his process.
It's true. Juan, Jesse gift wrapped that one for you, buddy. So you got 2 out of 3.
A piece of fudge.
There'll be some protests lodged by other contestants, I am sure. But ultimately, you'll have 3 entries into our drawing, which should happen later on in today's show, but there's always a chance that it won't. Thanks for playing, buddy. We appreciate you.
All right, thanks, guys.
This may be as close to on time as we've started a 10 o'clock hour in perhaps the recent history of our program. It's 10:02, and the 10 o'clock hour starts in 2 minutes. So stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Mark Tauscher here for Pizza Hut, where Cheesy Bites Pizza is back right now. For just $13.99, you get a large pizza with 28 pullable, poppable, cheese-filled bites. And even better, it comes with the Ranch Lover's Flight, featuring 3 bold new dips: Ultimate Ranch, Chipotle Ranch, and Pepperoni Ranch. 1 large pizza, 3 dips, endless flavor. Hurry in or order online today at pizzahut.com. Only at Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Hey, this is former Badger Brad Norton.
It's a fake. Great call and great execution.
You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson, Sports Center, brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison for generations. Check them out, 220 State Street, and online at goodmansjewelers.com. The Milwaukee Brewers unable to come up with their first completed sweep of the 2025 season, falling 7-2 to the Rockies in the finale of their 3-game set yesterday in Colorado. New series begins tonight in Arizona. Brewers Diamondbacks, first of 3 over the weekend. 8:40 first pitch. Listen to it right here on Madison's home of the Brewers, 100.5 ESPN. It follows the Bucks game tonight. How about that? Bucks-Brewers doubleheader right here on ESPN Madison. Bucks pregame starts at 5:30 after Jim, Matt, and Molly. Tip time at 6 as Milwaukee visits the Detroit Pistons. Here's the deal for the Bucks in the playoff picture. Indiana cemented the 4 seed in the Eastern Conference playoff picture yesterday. So the best the Bucks can do is the 5 seed. They need to win one of their final 2 games against Detroit, either in Detroit tonight or at home at Fiserv Forum Sunday afternoon. With a win in either of those 2 games, the Bucks will earn the 5 seed in the Eastern Conference playoff picture. Wilde and Tausch continues right now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. You realize that if you don't lean back farther, I can't see you flinging your pencil to know you're trying to get my attention.
I wasn't trying to get your attention.
Oh, okay.
I like playing with my pipe.
Oh, it's hard to tell if you're playing with it or trying to get my attention.
Hey, Jason, the only time I do this to you is when we have guests. I don't do this when you're talking. I just jump in. So, are you new here? Like, that's what I normally... Jesse disagrees?
Okay. My understanding is you like to talk about the Bucks, so we'll get to that in a second.
I would. I just heard...
but we'll get to that in a second.
Oh, okay.
Pause.
Okay.
Do people not like trivia anymore? Or is this another example of people saying things...
What?
People saying things...
Who doesn't like trivia?
When they are in the virtual realm that they would never say to you in person. Inside the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube comments.
Now, is Milwaukee the more nasty?
That's the feisty
in your
one.
opinion?
Yeah, they're feisty.
Than the Madison, it's a little testier.
Michael, who hates trivia? Me. Seth, not a fan of trivia. Are you smarter that a 5th grader one was fun, but at first, but this is boring these days. It's too dragged out. Hate the trivia segments, Michael says.
Really?
Do we need to reevaluate trivia?
Let's evaluate it. We don't want to be all hasty with it.
Knee jerky.
Yeah, we did not do it until COVID, and then when we did it during COVID, it was awesome, or at least in my opinion. And I think it's been fun because we get to have a little banter. There's regulars. We get the new caller. I would disagree with the Milwaukee chat, but I want to hear it. I want the criticism. I want us to evaluate, certainly. Maybe it is. Maybe it's gotten stale. Maybe we need a freshener. I don't know.
I enjoy trivia. I also enjoy Bucks conversations, which we're going to have now with our Bucks/NBA expert, Mark Tauscher. Tausch, what do you want to talk about Bucks related? Somebody let John Wesley, the villainous John Wesley, know we're talking Bucks right now. We should have like a Buck signal because we talk
Bucks
about them
alert?
so infrequently. But Tausch wants to talk Bucks. Tausch, the floor is yours.
So I just heard Jesse's little Sports Center thing, and I saw that we blew out the Pelicans last night in a game that seems to have not mattered. We're not, so just so that I'm correct on this, we're not catching Indiana.
Correct.
No,
Is
it's
there any
over.
way we can catch Indiana?
Nope, it's over.
That's done. So the best we can do is be the 5 seed and play Indiana and have to go on the road, win a road game in order to advance. That is the – or we could fall to the 6th spot with 2 games left. Detroit sweeps us. They're 5, we're 6. We would then go to New York.
Well, so the Pacers still technically can catch the Knicks, but it's unlikely. But it is not a done deal yet. So Indiana is at least the 4 seed. They technically could flip-flop with the Knicks. And same thing, the Bucks are going head-to-head with the Pistons in the final 2 games. So if Milwaukee wins one of the 2.
Great scheduling.
Yeah.
Really good scheduling by the NBA.
So if the Bucks
to
win
have that Sunday,
either Friday night or Sunday afternoon, the Bucks win one of those 2, they are going to be the 5 seed. It's a done deal.
Okay. And we still don't know if Dalla Dame is going to be available in the playoffs. We feel better because I saw a report yesterday that the blood clot has lessened, and there is hope, some optimism. When it first was announced, I think most of us thought, oh, that's a rhapsody for the season for Dalla Dame. So hopefully that'll be the case. But then the questions are, how in shape is he going to be? And there's obviously a lot of concerns about that, not only for his health, but from a playing standpoint. But the reason I bring this up and why I'm curious, I think there is a good shot that the Bucks will be eliminated in the first round. Like, if you were a betting man right now, Jason, I know you're not, Jesse, you are, more or less likely that they're no longer going to have home court at Fiserv. Doubtful that Dame is going to be able to be a big contributor. Would you make that wager that they're knocked out or that they advance right now as we sit here today?
I guess you're asking me that question because Jason's not a betting man.
Jason is a non-gambler. I'd like to get both opinions.
I think based on the last 2 years, the Bucks had home court advantage in the first round and did not advance out of it, and they appear to be in a similar or worse situation heading into the playoffs, even though they've won 6 in a row as of right now. Yes, I would. If you made me wager on it right now, I would say they will not advance out of the first round of the playoffs.
Jason?
I think they upset whoever they face. That's Indiana. And they advance to the second round and then punch out in the second round.
So if either of those scenarios plays out, obviously it'd be better if they got to the second round.
Mm-hmm.
But if that happens and this Bucks run, we already saw Chris Middleton leave via trade. Drew Holiday has already been gone for a couple years.
Yeah, we miss him.
Would you view this golden age of Milwaukee Bucks basketball as awesome, or we left a lot on the table as a Bucks fan? Because you're going to end up with 1 championship, no other appearances, and I know you always try to compare things to the Packers because that's how we view things through our show, and from a Wisconsin sports fan standpoint, the Packers set the tone. But I think Bucks fans are all right with this. Even if this is the end of this era, and if Giannis leaves or if Giannis decides he wants to be traded, not saying that's going to happen, but this era of basketball is probably, you're going to see a big change moving forward regardless. How do we view as Bucks fans? Are we satisfied with what occurred in this golden age from 2018 to 2025?
I think when you get a title, it sucks that they didn't get more opportunities, but let's look at how their playoff series were derailed by injuries. And by the way, their championship path almost was derailed by an injury to Giannis too, right? Like, I feel like they've been more unlucky than abject failures since they won the title. Am I wrong to feel that way?
But nobody cares about your feelings when it comes to that. You know that, right? I mean, I'm not arguing with you. Obviously, circumstances dictate
It's not an
things.
excuse, it's an explanation for why they didn't advance further, in my opinion. Giannis is the best player in the world.
Does anybody care about that, though? It's about results. Sports is tough. It's a results business, and I would argue the only other one that I feel really sick about is that Raptors series and that season. And if you get that, it's similar to if the Packers get that Seahawks game and go on and win a second chip, everybody views this whole thing in a different light. I don't think we're going to view the Bucs thing in a different light. I don't think, even though we should have, could have, maybe would have, the fact that there is a championship banner in Fiserv Forum and an MVP in what he's done, I don't look at this 7, 8, 9-year run, whatever you want to look at, as, ugh. I mean, yes, you left some. I do think you left something on the table, but when you get that championship, and this goes to that argument and that question we always have, would you give up some success on a season-to-season basis and chance to have a chance if you get the one and then Struggle City comes knocking at your door? Are you all right with it as a fan? This is going to be that case, because when and if this ends, you're going to see some struggle. And was that championship enough on your palate to keep you quenched? I don't know. I think most of us would say yes.
I will ask my friend John Wesley, who does happen to be listening as we discuss the Bucs. So we didn't need the Buck signal. Are you going to be disappointed? Is your palate uncleansed or whatever you just went with?
I think there's a process, and I think the Bucs went through that process. But the only disappointing part, I'm not disappointed that they didn't get another chance. I would have loved to have seen Giannis and the boys get two, because, as Ron Wolf says, one is kind of a fart in the wind, especially in the NBA circles when you're an all-time great. You got to validate with more than one. Very similar to quarterbacks. I treat Giannis like A-Rod. I treat Giannis like Favre. Like, they're all in that same stratosphere together. It's rarefied air. And getting one is great, especially for a franchise that has not had one in 50 years.
Yeah.
But there were opportunities, and I do think injuries affected it. But this was when you get to this point and you have one of the transcendent players, you would hope for more than one, just like you would as a Packer fan.
I agree that when you have a player like Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers or Giannis, you would like more than one. I also understand that there are plenty of teams that have gotten more than one when they had that type of player for you to be envious of. But don't most teams only win one? Like, what's going on with Denver?
No. Not as the transcendent players, Jason.
Isn't,
NBA's different than quarter. It is.
Isn't Jokic
if you look at
a transcendent player?
He is, and he's going to be. I think Denver will have similar conversations to what Milwaukee Bucks fans are having.
So that's another team that's in that position.
But
that
my
won a
point
title.
on this is, I don't know if you can put the Giannis's and the Jokic. They're transcendent players, but there's, like Dion said, there's levels to everything. Jordan, LeBron, Tim Duncan, Shaq/Kobe. You need more pelts to get up to the rarefied air. There's your commercial jetliner airway where you're at like 38 to 42,000. And then there's the PJs that go above all those and are flying up in that extra faster layer of air. Giannis and Jokic are in the upper commercial. Jordan, Kobe, Steph, LeBron, they're up in the PJ era.
So, starting in 2000, the Lakers won 3 in a row. Then the Spurs. Then the Pistons had a title. They lost the finals the next year.
They're in the commercial jet era.
06, the Heat win with Dwayne Wade. That is the pre-LeBron era, right?
Yep.
Is that the pre-LeBron era?
Yes,
Spurs,
that was the
Celtics, anything is possible in 2008, right? Then the Lakers
KG will be in the same boat as KG or Giannis. Bigger NBA star. I think Giannis with his MVPs trumps KG.
Okay, then the Lakers win 2 more. Then the Mavericks with Dirk Nowitzki win 1.
I would say they're more of the regional jet.
Okay.
They're the
Miami
jet.
Heat lose that finals, and then they win the next 2. LeBron is the finals MVP in both of those.
Yep.
Spurs win another one with Popovich. Kawhi Leonard is the MVP of that series. Then the Golden State Warriors win 3 of the next 4, with the exception being LeBron bringing a title back to Cleveland. A lot of LeBron in here, obviously.
How would you put Kawhi versus Giannis?
Yeah, it's a great question because then he wins another title with the Raptors.
That
and another
Raptors
MVP.
season was our Seahawks.
Yep.
That's what happened there.
Mm-hmm. And then you got COVID and the Lakers win in the bubble, then the Bucks win. Since the Bucks championship, the Warriors won again, the Nuggets, and then the Celtics last year.
Brett in the ESPN Madison YouTube comments compares Giannis to Dirk Nowitzki, assuming this ends up being the way it is. So Dirk had 1 with Dallas, right? Close several times, never got over the hump except for the 1.
Never left.
Mm-hmm.
Never left. Yeah, played there the whole time. He's regarded as an all-time great, but not in the same level as obviously some of the greats that you've talked about.
Yeah, they're good commercial jets. I think Dirk and Giannis are great comps. I think Jokic and Giannis, as we sit here today, very similar. From the Pistons, there's nobody up in that category because you also have to have the individual pelts to go with the team pelts to be up there.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got the rarefied air, the private jet air. That's going to be more pelts and chips. That's a rare air. The
Pelts and Chips Airlines. Fly the friendly skies. All right. I don't know where to segue after our NBA talk.
So are Bucks fans satisfied? Will Bucks fans be satisfied?
Does Giannis's future factor into whether you're satisfied or not? When you ask that question,
this isn't over yet.
He sounds like it is, isn't it? Doesn't it sound like it is?
This era, Brooke Lopez, Middleton's gone, Holiday's gone, Pat Connaughton's basically gone.
Wait, isn't Pat Connaughton still on the team?
You guys maybe don't want to admit that it's over.
Bobby Portis is
this
back.
This era is over once this postseason ends. And maybe they shock the world. Maybe they Buster Douglas this thing. Because this would be a Buster Douglas type situation. If they can beat Cleveland and Boston and go and win a chip against the Lakers, this would be Buster Douglas type deal. Then Giannis is up in the rarefied air.
All right. So I gotta be honest. I don't love the fact that we very rarely talk Bucks, and when we do, it is for you to proclaim that the era is over.
Doomsday tea.
It's not doomsday, guys.
Well, all right. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a break.
You're literally calling it the end of days.
It's the end
as close
of
to
the
doomsday.
When this
we know it.
When this postseason run is over, it is, guys. It is.
All right. Here's what we're gonna do. Chicken Little. We're gonna take a break. Yeah, the sky is falling. You've heard of him.
I don't get that. I don't get that reference, but okay.
You've never heard of Chicken Little?
No. Richie Little. Leonard Little.
Chicken Little's Fudge Shop up in Door County. We'll ask John Wesley next because he is called in. He is the biggest Bucks fan I know. If he feels like you're right, that it's the end of the world as we know it,
That's not what I said.
It's the end of the era.
Words in my mouth. End of an era, not the end of the world. End of an era is different. You know that. You know that. You know.
Did you want to tell me about Quick Trip now, or do you want to tell me about Quick Trip later?
I do. Life's busy. Quick Trip gets it. Quick Trip's convenient for me. Whether you're craving that fresh coffee, a tasty bakery treat, grab-and-go meals, or a snack, Quick Trip is your go-to. It has a variety of apps we've all discussed. Jesse's got a new one that he likes that's handwritten out there. I like those big, thick, beautiful mozzie sticks with the mozzarella cheese just dripping. You got Nature's Touch ice cream, chocolate, vanilla, cookies and cream, mint chocolate chip. And there's nothing, just like a draft, no bad draft picks. And right now, a gallon of that ice cream, Nature's Touch, is $4.99. You can get Nature's Touch milk for $2.99. The Quickery breakfast sausage links for $2.49. Always chicken. We'll get to that on Monday. You know the great deal on Mondays with chicken. All of it. Take advantage of the Quick Rewards app. Quick Trip has to offer. Quick Rewards on every visit. Plus, you can order ahead for pickup or curbside delivery. Quick Trip. We'll see you next time.
More Bucks talk with John Wesley, our guest. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, old T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member-first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, I mean, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
Look what we have here. It's the refreshing deliciousness of a Pepsi mini can. It's the perfect complement to any meal. The dash of indulgence your day was dreaming of. The sip that'll have you singing Pepsi.
Nope, not again, Steve. Let's take a cue from the Pepsi mini can and pack all that awesomeness you're feeling into a much smaller treat for everyone. Deal?
So, big awesomeness, smaller size. I think I've got just the thing.
Pepsi mini can. Mini can, big taste.
Free Food Friday on ESPN Madison is brought to you by Vintage Brewing Company. Whether you're looking to get carry-out, delivery, or dine in, Vintage Brewing has lots of great options on their menu. Vintage Brewing Company prides themselves on being a great place to hang out and enjoy classic Midwestern hospitality. Vintage Brewing Company has multiple award-winning beers, so be sure to try one the next time you're in. Head to VintageBrewingCompany.com to make a reservation today. That's VintageBrewingCompany.com.
It's our lowest prices of the season, in-store and online at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Right now, shop the season's best values on supplies to make projects your own. Like Estate Crabgrass Preventer or Weed and Feed, $29.99. Rewards members pay just $24.99. Top Choice All-Purpose Grass Seed, $36.99. Save 20% on assorted Hillman hardware, and select Valspar interior paint starts at $27.99 a gallon. Don't miss our lowest prices of the season, only at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Need new tires? For a limited time at Zimbrick Honda, you can buy 3 tires and get the 4th for only $1. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
Drum roll, please.
Carbless is here with refreshing new flavors. Introducing their Tropical Bliss Variety Pack. Let the summertime flavors of blood orange, watermelon, raspberry, and grapefruit whisk you away from the winter blues. New flavors, same great Carbless perks. Every handcrafted cocktail still has 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and just 100 calories. Find the Tropical Bliss Variety Pack in-store wherever Carbless is sold and enjoy your winter passport to paradise. Grab a pack today and discover why less is more with Carbless.
Outdoor Living Unlimited's showroom on Stoughton Road is absolutely a must-see. Nobody builds a better backyard better than Outdoor Living Unlimited. New deck, outdoor kitchen, screen room, fire pit, and in-ground pool. Outdoor Living Unlimited is Wisconsin's leader in building the new deck. Wisconsin's #1 TimberTech decking installer. Looking for a backyard hardscape design? Stop by Outdoor Living Unlimited's amazing Madison showroom. Visit our open house on Saturday, April 19th from 9 to 1 p.m. and meet the team, or visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Looking to join an international quality golf club right here in Madison? Discover TPC Wisconsin, an instant classic in the heart of the Midwest. With a course co-designed by Steve Stricker and PGA Tour Designs, it's the 13th and newest TPC Network golf club in the world. Other high-quality amenities include a short game practice area, athletic performance center, and meeting and dining facilities. Plus, membership benefits that reach around the globe. Schedule a tour at tpcwisconsin.com and start your journey to a lifetime of priceless golf.
The Milwaukee Bucks, the Detroit Pistons,
Reverse layup in. What a play by the Greek Freak.
the Milwaukee Brewers, the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yelich demolishes one up into the night sky.
Tonight on 100.5 ESPN.
This is the end, beautiful friend. This is the end, my only friend, the end of
Can we go back to talking about Fudge? This is sad. All right, let's go. Let's talk to our friend John Wesley and see if he's in Tausch's club. That, and again, I don't want to misquote you. So state your position once again, please. Tausch.
Which part? Which part?
The part that's your position on the Bucks.
I don't know how many times. So, in essence, I believe that even if Milwaukee gets out of being the 6 or 5 seed, which will be an upset, if it's New York, if it's Indiana, they're not going to beat either Cleveland or the Boston Celtics. It's just not going to happen. And no, I don't think Giannis is going to have to kind of figure out where his career is going. This is going to be a summer of clarity as far as where this organization is going to go moving forward. I hope Giannis decides, I'm here, I am a Milwaukee Buck, I want to rebuild and reload here and finish my career. Don't know how that's going to shake out, but I believe the Connaughton, Brooke Lopez, we already saw a bunch of the guys have left via trade or whatnot in Drew and in Chris. So here we go. I think this era, with Giannis obviously as the ringleader, is over after this postseason, and I think it's been a success. That is, in essence, where I'm at with the Milwaukee Bucks.
John Wesley, are you in Mark Tauscher's clearly stated club now that he's crystallized his take?
Good morning, gentlemen. Geez, Tausch, it's followed by the music that was just played. That's very downtrodden, I would say. I don't feel that way. I think, asking the question of being unfulfilled, I think it can be put into two categories. I think you got to look at the old heads like myself and yourself, Jason. I'll call you an old head that remember back in the Bradley Center days, on those Saturday nights where there were 7,000 people in the stadium, and the only time it ever filled out was because the Lakers were in town, that, Milwaukee fans were saying, let the Bucks leave. It doesn't matter. We're never going to get a superstar. Small market in the NBA is never going to win a championship. What's the sense of having, a team like Milwaukee there? So I think you have to look at it where, my group, quote unquote, are happy that we did get a championship and that we have been able to have a superstar and a transcendent player like Giannis on the team. I think the younger generation, I'll put Jesse in that generation and probably say 35 to 40. I think the way that the league is now and, the player movement and whatnot, that it is possible to get, to trade for guys or to get some guys, or, the circuit of basketball is so big that there's always great players that are kind of coming up, that they're more used to now of wanting to see 2 or 3 championships because that's what Golden State did, for example. So I think it's really put into two different categories. I think that I'll be disappointed if they don't win another one before Giannis leaves or retires, but I won't say that I'm an unfulfilled Bucks fan, because I honestly never thought that I would see the Bucks win a championship in my lifetime, and I've been a Bucks fan for over 50 years.
Not when you're watching Lee Mayberry and Todd Day. I'm curious, are you feeling any anxiety about if this era ends? Because Lord knows the older gentleman that does a daily 1-hour radio program on these airwaves, Homer, has been expressing his concern and telling us, go see Giannis while you can because he may not be here anymore. Do you have those same anxious feelings or not as a Bucks fan?
I mean, I would say no. I mean, if Giannis leaves, Giannis leaves, but you can't blame the Bucks organization if Giannis does decide to leave, because the Bucks organization has done everything that Giannis has wanted, from the coaches that they brought in or fired to the players that they've brought in. I mean, they've tried to organize, they've tried to shape this team around what would be best around Giannis. And I think that, a lot of people, I think, are comparing the Bucks of today's team, to the team of last year and the year before. And if you look at it, the Bucks are, all of a sudden, they have generated themselves and transformed themselves into a young team. I mean, Ryan Rollins has a lot of potential. If you can bring KPJ back, if you can bring, Gary Trent Jr. back, I would assume that Pat is going to re-up his contract, and, probably Bobby. But, I mean, Bobby's only 30, so he's not really old, and he's got a skill set that definitely fits what's best around Giannis. Dame has probably got another year left, and I don't, necessarily think that he's old. He's just got to be healthy. So, I would look at it that if I was Giannis, I would say that there are some pieces that are around right now that, I can stick around. And if we can get Brooke on a lower contract, or if we can, piece some pieces together and maybe get like a Miles Turner or whatever, we can kind of transform and reshape the team without having to rebuild, and you can do that around Giannis. So, I don't, he could leave. I don't think he's going to leave. I would probably place a nice wager on the fact that I don't think he's going to leave, because I think that the Bucks have transformed themselves from a team that was old when the season ended last year to, I honestly think that they could beat anybody in the playoffs right now, assuming that everybody stays healthy.
I was just going to ask you that, John. So you think that this team can make a big playoff run, beating both the Cavs and the Celtics potentially to get to another championship? You think that's possible?
I think it's possible. I think a Boston series would be a struggle, just because the matchups don't favor the Bucks. Considering when you're looking at sort of the Brooke and the Bobby lineup, so they'd have a better chance, like if Jericho Sims was back and healthy, because he's a switchable player. I think with the Cavaliers, I love what they've done, but I mean, we've all seen, and the Bucks are an example, we've all seen a team that's had a great regular season, and you get into the playoffs, and it's a whole different animal. And is Sam Merrill and is Max Strus, and is Dean Wade going to hit those three-pointers, and is DeAndre Hunter going to hit those three-pointers in Game 6 of an Eastern Conference semifinals, the way that they hit three-pointers in Game 67, 68. So I think that the way that they're coming together, and if Dame does come back, if Doc, and my biggest fear is Doc Rivers and who he's not going to play in the playoffs. If Doc is able to keep the ball in Giannis's hands and let him distribute the way that he's been distributing the last couple of weeks, where he's been phenomenal, probably the best form of Giannis that we've seen all season. And if we can get, use Dame more off ball with KPJ and Dame more off ball with Giannis running the point, I think the Bucks they could beat the Pacers in 5 games. I think they could beat the Cavaliers in 6 games. And I think I would say that it'd be a toss-up against Boston just because of the matchups and who Doc would actually decide to play in the playoffs, because we've all seen Doc in the playoffs in the past, and sometimes his rotations kind of leave your head scratching. So I think there's possibility, but again, it's all a matter of health.
So in fairness, John, you would bet big money that Giannis is going to continue to play for the Bucks. You would not bet big money that the Bucks come out of the East, though.
If the Bucs were going into the playoffs with the same team that they had last year, I would say Giannis is gone. I would bet big money that Giannis is coming back. I would bet less big money on the Bucs coming out of the East, just due to the fact that the matchup against the Celtics, I think, would be their toughest, their toughest matchup, and it would all depend on what Doc Rivers decided to do.
Wes, we appreciate
and I love
you,
you
buddy.
guys, but I especially love you guys when you talk about the Bucs, just so you know.
Well, you help us
you
be
guys.
smarter when we do it. So thanks, buddy. And maybe this is another question that we should have asked Wes because he loves the team so much, but Homer was the one who suggested that after the firing of Malone in Denver that the Bucs should now go after him as their next coach and have to pay 4 coaches that would still be receiving checks. Are you, Tausch, okay with Doc Rivers continuing to coach this team even if they punch out in the first or second round of the playoffs here?
I am going to completely cede that to Giannis. If Giannis is okay with it, I'm okay with it. If he's not, I want Giannis in Milwaukee. However, even though I understand, I've seen this movie play out before.
You have.
Watching other star players, the NBA is different. And Giannis needs to stay in Milwaukee as long as possible, in my opinion. And whatever we can do that, to keep him here, that's what I want to do. That's what I'd advocate for.
All right, we've got a lot of great things still coming up on the show, including scheduled to appear Badgers offensive coordinator Jeff Grimes. I'm trading some text messages with Lance Leipold, the coach at Kansas, who I love. And we've I think, as Badgers fans, I think it sounds to me, based on what people tell me, that they got a good one now. That's going to be a good fit for what the Badgers want to do offensively. So we'll ask them a bunch of questions about that during the 11 o'clock hour. Before we can get to that, though, we got to give away another spot for ESPN's Fantasy Focus Football Podcast coming to Green Bay. That is on April 23rd. That's Wednesday the 23rd. Field Yates, Daniel Dopp, Mike Clay, Liz Loza, and Stefania Bell are doing a live show at the Tundra Trio, and ESPN Wisconsin wants to send you and a friend up to Green Bay to see the show happen live. Right now, caller 7 at 844-770-3776 wins 2 tickets to ESPN's Fantasy Focus Football Live at the Tundra Trio. See the show up close, meet all the hosts, get complimentary food and beverages, and you'll also walk away with some Fantasy Focus Football Podcast merch. That's caller 7 right now, 844-770-3776. More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
You're back at the gym. Your new gym outfit? On point. Your new sneakers? Baller. You've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with Access Checking. It's maintenance fee-free with no minimum balance requirements. So when you take your first yoga class in 10 months, your body might surprise you, but your checking account won't. You've got this with Access Checking from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Football fans, Verizon is giving you the chance to win the ultimate draft experience with the Road to the Draft sweepstakes. 10 lucky winners will win tickets to the first day of the 2025 draft in Green Bay, including round-trip car service from Milwaukee, hotel accommodations, plus access to the Verizon viewing zone. Don't miss your chance to win the ultimate draft experience powered by Verizon. Hurry to select Wisconsin Verizon locations to enter by April 13th. No purchase necessary to enter. Must be legal U.S. resident of Wisconsin or Illinois, age 21 years or older to enter. Void where prohibited. For official rules and full details, visit www.espnwisconsincontest.com.
Chevy Truck Month is back. Get more truck for your buck at Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie. Right now, get 2.9% APR financing for 72 months and $6,000 off MSRP on a 2025 Chevy Silverado. That's right, 2.9% for 6 years. That really is more truck for your buck. But hurry, offer ends on April 30th. Never overpay. Shop Zimbrick Chevrolet. No down payment required. Monthly payments equal $15.15 per 1,000 financed with approved credit through GM Financial.
Hey, Gina, did you hear about the draft?
Wayne, there's no draft at Pella.
There's definitely a draft. Right, Wilde?
Yeah,
everybody's talking about it.
Pella windows are constructed of the highest quality. No drafts. But Pella should be everyone's number one pick because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get no interest financing options or free glass upgrades.
So where is the draft?
Coon. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply and 4/30/2025.
Hi, I'm John Hayes of Goodman's Jewelers. It's hard to imagine, but Goodman's has been the diamond store of Madison since 1933, which means your parents, maybe even your grandparents might have shopped with us. We maintain the same high standards, honesty, and integrity that kept them coming back time and again. Keep their history and our history alive. Shop Goodman's Jewelers today in the heart of Madison at 220 State Street. We're online at goodmansjewelers.com.
The best is at Goodman's.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
We're on the Packers.
You still want to see that steady play, that steady improvement, and you didn't get it from Jordan Love?
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
That just makes the stakes that much higher this season.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
Thanks to John Wesley for joining us and adding his Bucks fan insights.
What's his credibility?
Pretty high. He's been a season ticket holder for a really long time. UW guy, Carbone Cancer Center guy, smart guy. So yeah, he knows ball.
Okay.
I mean, he's no Justin Garcia or Eric Name, but he's pretty good. Now, I would like to get back to our lane, which is the Green Bay Packers. And Lucas Van Ness, who is on the tailgate tour. We have talked a lot about him. There appear to be lots of skeptics when it comes to Lucas Van Ness. I think I'm a convert, Tausch. And here's why.
Why?
Because... So he obviously has not been uber productive in his first two NFL seasons. But if you put together some might say breadcrumbs that lead to why he has been less than ideally productive.
Going to be in Green Bay in 2 weeks, by the way.
I wonder if that's hanging on the wall yet. I think there's some reasons for it, and he brought this up. He was on the stop at in Pewaukee when he mentioned this. I knew he played with a broken thumb last year. We saw him with the cast. We saw him in the locker room. We talked about it with LaFleur. He didn't talk about it much. But I didn't realize this, and I have not broken down every snap that he played, his 396 snaps he played last year. But he said he always was rushing from the right side of the defense. It was his right hand, the thumb on his right hand. And that meant, A, going up against left tackles all the time. B, a guy that, as Tausch so eloquently pointed out from the very beginning, strong like bull, need to develop other pass rush moves because you can't just bully guys like you might bully the tackle from Rutgers or Maryland or Northwestern or whoever it might be playing at Iowa. And then on top of that, he did play, never started a game, but did play as a true freshman, as a true sophomore, and then left. Like, there's a lot of potential still there, and I'm a sucker for potential. But he's going to be healthy. He's going to be in the second year of the system. He was a guy who had his hand in the dirt at Iowa, and he went back to that last year. The thumb part. Am I looking at the world through green and gold colored glasses when I look at Lucas Van Ness and I hear Goody say things like, we have everything we need right now, even though I'm bringing in lots of edge rushers on pre-draft visits? How do you am I being Pollyanna-ish to think that this guy could have a breakout year 3 after 2 mid-seasons as a first-round pick, the 13th overall pick in 2023?
What does that mean to you, breakout season? Tell
I
me
don't
what that
know, 8 or
means to
9
you.
sacks, 25, 30 pressures, like makes a difference for them. Isn't like a Pro Bowler, but is a good, solid, consistent pass rusher who allows them to go with a 4-man rush far more frequently than they were last season. That's my definition.
I think Lucas Van Ness, you keep seeing guys, and especially in that position, unless you're Chop and you're just a freak, quick off-the-ball guy, and that's what you do, it takes a while to learn how to rush the passer in this league. There's not, you don't get a lot of gimmies, and unless you have that extra gear that is just special on special, you learn as you go and you start figuring out how you can attack people and make plays on a semi-consistent basis. That's what they're asking for Lucas Van Ness. And from the jump, we all know he's strong. Mm-hmm. That was the reason they drafted him, is because he has all of the tangible things that you're looking for. Now it's, can you figure out, and I think the biggest storyline, or one of, that has probably gotten underplayed, is the fact that they fired Matt LaFleur. Doesn't fire coaches.
Mm-hmm.
He just doesn't. He fired the D-line coaches, and he brought in a guy that has a coordinator background and has had success developing and helping guys rush the passer. Lucas Van Ness is case study 1 for him. That is, I think, one of the reasons that LaFleur has done that is because he feels like there is talent here that is not being maximized. Now it's up to the players to take whatever new techniques and new thoughts that these coaches have and bring those to light. Lucas Van Ness is going to get a bunch of opportunities. And I do think when you have a kind of that baseline, and you're an NFL player, okay, we've seen that he can play. He's done some things. Then it becomes, can you replicate it? Can you grow? And then you can consistently do it. And when you consistently do things, good things happen to you. That's in life. That's in football. Good habits. And as long as Lucas Van Ness is working, I don't think anybody is saying he ain't working. He's up there. He's doing all the stuff that you hope.
Cooking that guy in the oven mitts.
Now you're hoping to see him elevate that. And so I think that there is no doubt he is going to have to play a bigger role. And if he doesn't, he ain't going to be here.
Jesse, are you a skeptic? Am I being too hopeful?
I think you're generally too hopeful for some of these guys because you get to be pretty close to them and covering them and whatnot.
He and I aren't close, but yeah, that's fair. I am a sucker for potential. There's no doubt about it.
I
still think Robert Ferguson is going to become a really good wide receiver in the NFL.
I heard you last weekend on the Saturday Scramble show with Pablo Iglesias and Alex Gravatt on ESPN Madison.
Love that show.
You said that the Packers are a player away from becoming a legitimate Super Bowl contender, but that player may be on the team right now. And Lucas Van Ness, I believe, was one of the names that you mentioned as a player that if he were able to elevate his game to the next level, he could make the Packers a legitimate top dog Super Bowl contender by becoming a bigger threat on defense. And Rashawn Gary was a name you mentioned, and I think there's a couple others too that we could probably, we've talked about him on our show that we could put in that mix. I hope you're right that he is someone who can become a better version of himself next year. But to this point, there really isn't any evidence that that's going to happen. And based on Goody's track record of first-round picks and how they've evolved in their careers, by this point we would know if he was going to get to that point or not, and it looks like he hasn't. So that's what concerns me the most.
Well, that's just not, Jesse. That's just not fair, and that's not accurate. There are plenty of players that grow and start at a certain point and then develop into being really good pass rushers. There are very few chops that have 10, 11 sacks in their rookie season. There are very few guys that do that, the Bosas. Most guys go the Trey Hendrickson route. Now, I'm not saying that Lucas Van Ness is going to become Trey Hendrickson, but I'm also saying if you are in New Orleans and you had the first 2 years that Trey Hendrickson had, their Jesse Nelson in ESPN Louisiana is going to be saying the same thing. Well, I don't see it.
But he wasn't the 13th overall pick. Trey Hendrickson was not the 13th overall pick. He was the third-round pick. So Cajun Jesse Nelson is probably not talking about Trey Hendrickson all that much at that time.
All right, get rid of him.
I'm not specific.
Then dump him. Be done with him.
I'm not specifically. You were ready to trade him for Myles Garrett, weren't you?
Yeah, I still would, and I think most sane people would. I'd also trade him for T.J. Watt.
Yeah.
Well, how crazy is that? And you know what else, Jesse? I'd trade him for Trey Hendrickson too. And you know who else would? Jason Wilde.
Not just me today, Jesse. I told you.
My assertion was not just about pass rushers developing. It's about Goody's first-round picks developing. Jair Alexander, you knew very quickly he was going to be a good player coming out of that draft. Rashawn Gary hasn't taken the jump. Eric Stokes never became what you wanted him to be after a couple of years. And you said, let's see how he develops. Let's see how.
Has Rashawn Gary been a good football player?
He's been good.
Okay.
But he hasn't elevated his game to become what you wanted him to be.
How many first-round picks are all pro? How many first-round picks become all pros? Like, just because you're a first-round pick, you're not all of a sudden enshrined to be great. That's not how it works.
Yeah, but you know the expectations that come with it. Has he played like the 12th overall pick? We're talking about which
12th? He's played better than Justin Harrell.
He was 16th, but be that as it may. The fact of the matter is that Lucas Van Ness was part of the world-famous Tausch pick swap. In fact, he mentioned that in his answer about sacking Aaron Rodgers, which we played yesterday. He didn't mention your brilliance about predicting the pick swap. But the guy they took at 15 to the Jets, a Wisconsin-born, went to Pulaski High School in Milwaukee, and then I think Waukesha North maybe, then played at Iowa State, Will McDonald. Will McDonald last season in his second year had 10.5 sacks. He had 38 pressures. Those are more in his second season than Lucas Van Ness has had combined in 2 years. And he went 2 picks later.
Get rid of him then. I think
I'm
he
not
can develop.
saying that. What I'm saying is I think it's fair to be disappointed in his production through 2 years. And I also think, like me, it's fair to still have some measure of intrigue at his potential and say, you know what, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. I don't want to get rid of him. I want to see what he does in year 3. But he's another guy that we cannot deny is facing a pivotal year where it's blank or get off the pot. Fair?
Yeah, that's the case. That's the case for almost every young player. But yes, that is fair. I don't think anybody could argue with that. But then that makes you think, do you have enough trust that you're not going to select an edge guy in the first or second round, or are you going to? Because it doesn't matter what you say.
It's true.
It's what you do. And if Goody drafts a guy first or second round, they're basically telling you, we don't think he can. Because there's plenty of other spots that Brian Gutekunst needs to address that if you don't think you have the horses or you're not going to keep Rashawn Gary, one of those two cats, if an edge guy comes off the table in round 1 or round 2, one of those two cats is on high alert.
Yeah, you're
that
right
their
about
time
that.
in Green Bay is coming to an end.
All right. Well, I am curious to see how this plays out on draft day. He could draft Shamar Stewart with his 1.5 sacks a year, but his 9.99 RAS score, and maybe he takes kind of a red shirt year, and Lucas Van Ness has a big year.
Yeah, I think that's what all of us are hoping for. I think Packer fans want him to be great. Now it's up to him, and it's up to the fact that we have a new D-line coach. There's a lot of new stuff, and now we have to see it, and we shall see if that is how it plays out.
Well, for now, Lucas Van Ness is decidedly still eligible for our Steinhoffel Sleeper of the Week award. We're not doing that right now once the season starts, but if it's time to upgrade your home, the best brands, best prices sale is here at Steinhoffel. Save 10% on all in-stock and special order furniture, dining, bedrooms, sofas, and so much more. And with Steinhoffel's special 60-month financing, your dream room is now even more affordable. Don't miss your chance to refresh your home with the brands you love. It's the best brands, best prices sale only at Steinhoffels and Steinhoffels.com. More next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
We're on the Badgers.
There are moments where it feels like you're close, but taken holistically, those look like blips.
Because we're on Wisconsin Sports.
To win a championship, you have to consistently be that team.
This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, old T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member-first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Steinhoffels. Shop Beauty Rest Black mattresses at Steinhoffels. The new Beauty Rest Black is only $42 per month when you use Steinhoffels 60-month financing only at Steinhoffels. Expect high energy from transfer Nick Boyd. Boyd, a former standout at Florida Atlantic and San Diego State. FAU play-by-play voice Ken LaVicka joined the latest episode of the Jump Around Digital Show. His one word to describe Wisconsin's newest edition?
Dog. The guy loves the gym. On road trips, he was getting pumps in all the time in the fitness center. Once it's time to play, he is a dog because as good as he is from a basketball standpoint, he might be a better trash talker. And he does not back down from anybody.
Everyone is talking about the draft, but you won't feel one from high-quality Pella windows. Get no-interest financing options or free glass upgrades today at PellaWI.com.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Zimbrick Honda has been a proud part of the Madison community since 1973, and they're your one-stop shop for over 250 new Hondas to choose from. Whether it's the sedan, SUV, or truck, their selection of new vehicles is second to none and has exactly what you're looking for. Stop in today at their location on Fish Hatchery Road and check out the all-new 2024 Honda Prologue, Honda's first all-electric SUV, or browse their selection online at ZimbrickHonda.com. That's ZimbrickHonda.com. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
You remember the moments from that magical March.
Side Decker, it's a three. Got it!
On June 26th, celebrate the squad with Made 'em Believe, a special night with Bo Ryan, Frank Kaminsky, and Sam Decker.
Here's Kaminsky, the drop stab, that's his favorite. And the two.
Presented by Bud Light, Michelob Ultra, Potosi Varsity Ale, and Potosi Hard Seltzer. Tickets are on sale now at UWHoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
Hi, this is Jeff Levering with the Brewers Radio Network. Ridgetop Exteriors, Wisconsin's trusted name in home improvement, does more than just top-quality roofing. They're your go-to for maintenance-free siding and energy-efficient windows, too. Ridgetop has expert credentials with leading manufacturers like Pella, James Hardie, and LP Smart Siding. For over 20 years, they delivered exceptional craftsmanship and service. Call Ridgetop Exteriors today or visit ridgetopexteriors.com. Ridgetop Exteriors, where customer service always comes first.
Ridgetop Exteriors.
Looking to join an international quality golf club right here in Madison? Discover TPC Wisconsin, an instant classic in the heart of the Midwest. With a course co-designed by Steve Stricker and PGA Tour Designs, it's the 13th and newest TPC Network golf club in the world. Other high-quality amenities include a short game practice area, athletic performance center, and meeting and dining facilities, plus membership benefits that reach around the globe. Schedule a tour at tpcwisconsin.com and start your journey to a lifetime of priceless golf.
The Milwaukee Bucks, the Detroit Pistons,
Reverse layup in. What a play by the Greek Freak.
the Milwaukee Brewers, the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yelich demolishes one up into the night sky.
Tonight on 100.5 ESPN.
So we are scheduled to be joined by Badgers offensive coordinator Jeff Grimes, trying to triangulate the end of practice with joining us. So we want to be a little flexible. So Tausch, tell us about Coors Light so we're in position to be ready for Jeff whenever he may be available.
Well, some of us think this is the best weekend just to sit back on your couch, crack open a Coors Light, and watch drama unfold on a great amphitheater as Augusta. Coors Light is going to be that drink in my hand. Brewed with a 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filtered, and it's cold packaged. So it is made to chill, and I'll make sure those mountains are blue. So when I know Coors Light's cold activated bottles and cans are chilled to perfection. That's why there's always Coors Light in my hand when I need a moment to chill. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch, which will include a conversation, scheduled to happen anyway, with Jeff Grimes, the Badgers' offensive coordinator, starts in 2 minutes. So stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Mark Tauscher here, and I'm ready to enjoy another Feel Good Friday of Wilde and Tausch, painted by Holman Lindsay Paints. Let's stick around to hear a few of the best feel-good stories of the week coming up to close out today's show. And if you want to make sure you get your next paint project at home done right, well, then I suggest you do what my family did and trust the pro painters at Holman Lindsay Paints. Get connected with the perfect pro painter for what your project calls for by simply stopping into any Madison area Holman Lindsay location. The team at Holman Lindsay will help pair you up with the best pro painter for the job. And we've seen how up and down Wisconsin's weather can be over the last month. Holman Lindsay is the one paint you can trust to withstand the challenges of Wisconsin's weather year-round. That's what makes it Wisconsin's best paint. Holman Lindsay, great paint, great people, and check them out at holmanlindsay.com. Stick around for Feel Good Friday coming up to close out this edition of Wilde and Tausch, painted by Holman Lindsay Paints.
It's time for the Milwaukee Basketball Report on 100.5 ESPN.
Lillard's going to tee up a three, and he splashes it through for the left wing.
Brought to you by Michelob Ultra, the official beer of the Milwaukee Bucks.
The Red Hot Bucks won their sixth straight, taking down the Pelicans 136-111 at Fiserv Forum. Milwaukee trailed by 5 at the end of the first quarter before outscoring New Orleans 115-85 the rest of the game. Giannis fell just short of his 4th straight triple-double, finished with a game-high 28 points, 11 rebounds, and 6 assists.
Picked up by Portis, scoops it ahead to Trent. Trent lobs up top. Giannis rams it home on the receiving end of that alley-oop beauty. Oh, it was a thing of beauty. The turnover results in more fast break points for the Bucks.
The 46-34 Bucks look to wrap up the 5 seed in the Eastern Conference tonight when they head to the Motor City to face the Detroit Pistons. Tip-off is at 6.
This has been your Milwaukee Basketball Report on Madison's home for Bucks basketball, 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Michelob Ultra.
This is Derek Engler. You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
SportsCenter updates on 100.5 ESPN are brought to you by Metro Kia of Madison. Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or visit metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. Now, Tausch, you as a member of the radio broadcast team obviously know way more about Badger football than I do, former player, everything else. But I do have some pretty good sources in terms of what to expect from Jeff Grimes. I have our friend Lance Leipold, the head coach at Kansas, who had him as his offensive coordinator last year. And one of my good buddies, Chris Stiles, played at Kansas, loves the Jayhawks, is really mad at our alma mater that he lost his offensive coordinator that he liked so much. But we're happy to have him, and we're happy to have him on our show right now. It is Jeff Grimes, the new Badgers offensive coordinator on Wilde and Tausch. Coach Grimes, how are you today?
Great. How are y'all?
Well, I'm doing better than my buddy Chris Stiles. He's not happy to have lost you as a former Kansas player. So thanks for pissing him off, and thanks for joining us. We're glad about it.
Glad I can help. You know, one of my gifts is pissing people off.
Hey, Tausch has the same gift. That's amazing.
Yeah,
how are you?
It goes with the position.
Yeah, something like that. How are you settling in? How's the spring going for you? Catch us up from when you joined the staff to now, how the process has gone for you.
Wow, a lot's happened since then. It's been great. You know, I can't talk enough about the players' eagerness and willingness to learn and work and be coached in an entirely new system, learn a new language, and then most importantly, come out here and work hard and you know, try to be the kind of players that we know we need and the fans are looking for to bring Wisconsin back.
So, Coach Grimes, what is the biggest thing that you've noticed so far? Because I think a lot of times the culture of Wisconsin and the locker room and everything else, is there anything that has surprised you about when you first got there? Is it been exactly what you expected, or is it better than what you even thought?
I guess the only thing, not a surprise necessarily, you know, and I certainly had some foreknowledge of the team and the culture and knew that we would have hardworking, tough kids. I played against Wisconsin twice in my career at previous stops, and so I kind of knew what to expect. But I think, you know, the thing I've been most pleased with is just what I mentioned before. The players have been unbelievably not only eager but antsy to learn. You know, like we're leaving a Friday walkthrough and they're asking for, you know, what are the plays going to be, or a better example would be a Wednesday walkthrough and they're asking what are the plays going to be on a Friday, you know, or a Tuesday, and they're wanting to know what's going to go in on Thursday and wanting us to get the scripts to them so they can start reviewing them. So just really taking ownership of the offense themselves.
So from the time you've gotten here to now, I guess what are fans going to be seeing that's going to look a lot different than what we saw the last two seasons under a different offensive coordinator?
Well, I think just an overall change in style. You know, I've been a part of all types of offenses in the past, and so when I say we're not going to be what a typical college offense would be or what a typical college spread offense would be, I would just note the difference between what that looks like and what an NFL-style offense looks like, which is what I would say we are. We try to emulate NFL teams in the way that they play, and so you know, some of those differences are you're primarily huddling instead of going no huddle, up tempo. We do have the ability to do that, and certainly will do that. but for the most part, we'll huddle. We'll play with a pretty big variety of personnel groupings. So you see one tight end on the field, two tight ends, two receivers, two backs, one tight end, two receivers, three tight ends. You'll see a variety of personnel groupings. And then, then as we approach the line of scrimmage, I think you'll see a variety in formations, pre-snap movement, shifts and motions, that sort of thing. And I think all of that just, is a little bit different style than maybe what they've grown accustomed to.
Talking with Badgers offensive coordinator Jeff Grimes on Wilde and Tausch. All right, Jeff, not only do I spend every day talking to a former Badgers and NFL offensive lineman, but as I get ready for my 30th year of covering the Packers, the offensive line group is always my favorite group, right? It all starts up front for you offensively. Like they're an important piece. They don't get all the glory, but they're really vital. You have such a offensive line background, and Wisconsin has such a great offensive line history, including this knucklehead that I talk to every day. I'm curious, how vital is that in your system? How different are we going to see the offensive line play than it did in the previous system? What are we looking at there? Because that, I know, is an area that is near and dear to your heart, having played it and having coached it a lot.
Well, certainly, I think any system starts with what you can do up front. The little guys can't do their jobs if the big guys don't do theirs first. And so it should be the primary point of emphasis in any system. However, in many nowadays, it feels like it hasn't been that way. But I think if you're going to play in the style of system that we want to play in, you're asking a lot more of the linemen. Not only are you asking more of them in terms of actually achieving their objective, getting their guys blocked, but the ways that they'll block people, there'll be a greater variety, greater volume on their part, just in terms of types of runs, volume of protections. And so the ask of them is higher than it has been, but I think they want that. And so they've been really eager as well, and have done a great job really accepting everything that we've asked from them. But I think you'll just see when you do that you get more of them. No one rises to low expectations. And so the more you ask of them, I think the more that they'll give.
I would disagree. On this show, we definitely rise to low expectations. That's kind of our thing. Jeff, I'm curious. You've coached in college for a really, really long time now. I'm wondering how different the process is. You've moved from schools, you've installed offenses, but now in the NIL transfer portal era, harder, easier, or just different as you try to implement your system? New quarterback that wasn't here last. Like, what's the process like? Is it different now?
Yeah, I think it is. I think you look a little bit more short term when you look at your roster and you're building your team, and you have to be ready for change at any moment. And those changes can be a net gain or a net loss. And it's a little bit like claiming a guy off the waiver wires in the NFL. If you lose a guy, then you got to go get a guy. And, the negative is you could lose a guy at any point in time. The positive is at least now there's a system in place for us to go replace him and to go get a guy to put in that spot. Or if we, have an injury or come out of spring ball and feel like this particular position hasn't quite met expectations, at least there's a place that you can go to. The issue is after spring in particular, it's hard because they haven't had the advantage of learning the offense and getting accustomed to their teammates during the spring. And so it's a short-term turnaround when you do that.
Jeff, how is your quarterback position kind of shook out? Obviously, Billy Edwards, has he been everything that you've hoped for? Is picking up everything is what you're trying to get done?
Yeah, Billy's been great. The whole room has been great. Kenny Guyton's done a great job, a tremendous job coaching those guys. And, from day one and really in the interview process, one of the things that impressed me about Kenny was his passion for leadership. And he has instilled that in that position, their command of the offense, their presence in the huddle. And that's everything from getting the culture right to getting a formation right. But Billy's certainly been at the top of that, and he's been everything that I expected he would be, and maybe even a little bit more in terms of his preparation. I mean, he's like a pro in terms of how he views his readiness from day to day.
Jeff, any of the I guess portal guys that have come in that Badger fans should be really excited about that you've seen? We talked about Edwards, but any other players that you think have really had a great spring that Badger fans are going to be excited to see in the spring showcase coming up next week?
I just say I'll provide some incentive to the fans, and they should show up and see for themselves. How about that? I hate to single anybody out. I think all of our guys are doing a great job.
All right, that's a very very diplomatic answer. That's
Tease.
fantastic. Can you? Yeah, the tease for next week.
Not
Can you kind of tell us, because yeah, exactly. Spring games have been, some teams have canceled them. We saw Colorado trying to get it. What are we, besides finding out who those guys are going to be, can you give us a little taste of what that spring showcase next Saturday is going to look like for all the fans that are going to come out?
Well, I've always viewed it as a coach that it's another opportunity for us as a staff to find out about our players. Just with the rate of injury nowadays, and the limitations that we have by the NCAA, there are only so many times that you really get to see guys go live, and you just find out something more about players. I think something significantly stronger when you actually say, okay, this is live. This is a scrimmage. It's not just inside run. It's not just 7-on-7. This is not just a team drill. This is real here, and players are going to get tackled, and if you don't do your job, then it's going to be really bad for our team, and somebody might get hurt. And so you find some guys who rise to the occasion, and you find some guys who don't, aren't quite ready for the moment. And, I think when you say it's a game, it's the spring game, even though it's not a game that counts in your record book, I still think that heightens either their anxiety or their willingness to go out and be a dude that shows up when more people are there watching.
All right, Jeff, we appreciate you making time for us after practice. I did text with Lance before you came on, and obviously I know you guys still have a good relationship. I am curious when I look at your resume before we let you go. Texas A&M, Boise State, Arizona State, BYU, Colorado, Auburn, Virginia Tech, LSU, BYU, Baylor. I mean, you've been everywhere, man. How does Madison hit
Johnny
you?
Cash.
That's my Johnny Cash reference. I'm glad you got that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, I certainly did. Yeah, I grew up on Johnny Cash. I love the town, great college town, great food, which is a high priority for me. My wife says I still eat like a lineman, and, there are some things that just don't change. But I think the culture here, the vibe here is one that's really cool, and, one that I think college players are excited about being a part of. So it's a good city to recruit to, and certainly one that I'm looking forward to seeing on game day.
There's some pretty good food cities on your previous stops. Are you adjusting to like cheese curds and fish fries, or what exactly is the food component been for you?
Yeah, I like anything, but certainly have enjoyed. Yeah, you probably couldn't name a food that I don't like, but the cheese curds and availability of quality at a high level has been more than what I expected. How about that?
That sounds good, and we hope your offense is more than you expected as well, and we look forward to you unveiling it at the spring game. Thanks for making time for us, Coach. We appreciate you a ton.
Hey, you got it, guys. Thanks.
That is Wisconsin offensive coordinator Jeff Grimes. You will be able to see the Badgers next Saturday, a week from tomorrow, at the spring showcase.
Showcase. Yeah,
I feel like that sounds like a dance competition or something. It is a spring game. They will go live, he said.
Oh, they did. Okay, great.
Isn't that what he said? When you said tell guys that go live, they're gonna go.
I think there's going to be. I think there's always dialogue, but one of the things that I've noticed, I've been over to I think 1 or 2 practices so far. I'm going to get over there again this weekend. The thing that I've noticed, you're seeing a lot of starters, potential starters, getting a lot of work, and I think that is getting accustomed to what is happening, and that is also a factor of there's a lot of new players that need to learn what is going on so that you go into fall camp locked and loaded and ready to go.
I'm curious. I don't know how things work. I've never been a UW employee per se. Does that make Jeff Grimes automatically a member of UW Credit Union? Or does he have to join
not,
like
he
you
should
did?
be. For every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here for every you. Proudly serving Wisconsin for over 90 years. They're going to help you reach your financial goals. And people always ask me, T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Is it to keep your banking local? Well, yes. Is it the member-first service? Absolutely. Is it the great perks like early payday? Yeah, I like that too. But honestly, love those debit cards, credit cards. I got Bucky. You can't say no to that beautiful face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you can't just pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but, man, this just makes sense. And I'll tell you what, we got some fun stuff. Did a little bit of content. Took my buddy Riley Yauk with me for one. I can't wait to release what that's going to look like. Become a UW Credit Union member like myself. Get your Bucky card. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms do apply.
Bucky, that rascal.
Youngster.
That beautiful
also
face.
A rascal.
I played Fraser Crane in I'm just going to give you a little snippet. I played Fraser Crane in potentially one of these situations with Riley.
And for those of us under 45, what does that mean?
Love Cheers. Always a timely reference. And, of course, Fraser followed after Cheers. All right. Thanks to Jeff Grimes. That was some interesting stuff about this Badgers offense. Can't wait to see it unveiled. We will get to more next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here for the great team at Everlight Solar. I love this time of year on the sports calendar. New baseball season underway, basketball playoffs, and speculating what Green Bay will do in the draft. And on top of all that, the weather is getting nicer and the days are getting longer. That means more sunlight and more encouragement to make the energy switch to Everlight Solar. Wouldn't you love to have a way to save money and save the planet? Well, good news. There is a way. It's by making the switch to solar. Our family is one of many who have made the switch over the last several years. When we knew we were ready to make the switch, we met with the Everlight Solar team, and they outlined the entire process and educated us on the benefits of making the switch. It was super simple. Join us in saving a ton of money and creating a greener environment for our family and the community by switching to solar. Learn more and schedule a free consultation at everlightsolar.com. That's everlightsolar.com.
It's time for the Milwaukee Basketball Report on 100.5 ESPN.
Lillard's going to tee up a three, and he splashes it through for the left wing.
Brought to you by Michelob Ultra, the official beer of the Milwaukee Bucks.
The Red Hot Bucks won their 6th straight, taking down the Pelicans 136-111 at Fiserv Forum. Milwaukee trailed by 5 at the end of the first quarter before outscoring New Orleans 115-85 the rest of the game. Giannis fell just short of his 4th straight triple-double, finished with a game-high 28 points, 11 rebounds, and 6 assists.
Picked up by Portis, scoops it ahead to Trent. Trent lobs up top. Giannis rams it home on the receiving end of that alley-oop beauty. Oh, it was the thing of beauty. The turnover results in more fast break points for the Bucks.
The 46-34 Bucks look to wrap up the 5 seed in the Eastern Conference tonight when they head to the Motor City to face the Detroit Pistons. Tip-off is at 6.
This has been your Milwaukee Basketball Report on Madison's home for Bucks basketball, 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Michelob Ultra.
Look what we have here. It's the refreshing deliciousness of a Pepsi mini can. It's the perfect complement to any meal. The dash of indulgence your day was dreaming of. The sip that'll have you singing Pepsi.
Nope, not again, Steve. Let's take a cue from the Pepsi mini can and pack all that awesomeness you're feeling into a much smaller treat for everyone. Deal?
So, big awesomeness, smaller size. I think I've got just the thing.
Pepsi mini can. Mini can, big taste.
From color-changing alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters, and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands? When you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
Listen to Madison Money Guy every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on 100.5 ESPN and ESPNWisconsin.com.
I like to refer to inflation as the silent killer. It's an invisible risk. It's just the idea that things get more expensive over time. You're going to need milk and eggs when you're in your early 60s and when you're in your early 80s. You're going to get a loaf of bread, and it's going to be more expensive 20 years from now.
Christian Finfrock is the Madison Money Guy. Call him today at 208-1800.
Hey, it's Riley Yauk. Stay in the know on area high school sports and follow ESPN Madison on social media for Prep Mania on Deck, each week's preview for the top games and events. Prep Mania on Deck is brought to you by Zimbrick Honda, a proud supporter of high school sports and local communities.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
I say, hey, I'll be gone today, but I'll be back from around the way. It seems like everywhere I go, the more I see, the less I know. But I know one thing, that I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you. Now I'm not a highly metaphysical man, but I know.
Thanks again to Jeff Grimes. If you're a Badgers fan and you missed that conversation, you can find it on the YouTube channel, where you get your podcasts, Wisconsin On Demand, everything that you need, you can find it there. All right, so I asked him about offensive line, and obviously the times that we have gone away from the Barry Alvarez blueprint, we have seen Wisconsin have some challenges. Fair? Whether it was with Gary Anderson or in the last offensive coordinator regime with Phil Longo. Do you think that this will start up front with the guys like you, one, and two, do you think it'll resemble something more similar to what we are accustomed to with the NFL pro-style offense flair to it, but more effective running the football and better offensive line fits?
I think this is going to be it's going to look a lot more like what we're accustomed to seeing, and he mentioned it with two backs in the backfield and with tight ends, 2-3 tight sets. You're going to see more multiple personnel. You're going to see more under center. You'll see a lot of things that I think Badger fans, especially in yesteryear, will appreciate. But the bottom line is, and I think where Phil Longo has taken a lot of grief with the system and how things have played out, and that was because it wasn't as productive as we wanted. It still will come down to, can we move people? Is the group up front going to be able to get the job done and set up all of the other things that offensive coordinators get excited about? But listening to Jeff Grimes in the past and listening to him what he just said with us, it's going to come back to winning your stuff. You're going to put guys in position to move people and to block people, and this will be a throwback to those days. It's not going to be exactly what I think the Barry Alvarez era. You know you have to do more things. You have to be more multiple. You have to be more explosive. But the core of what Wisconsin football is, I think you've seen a move to that more than what you did when Luke Fickell first arrived. I don't think there's going to be any question about that, and you'll see that next Saturday if you're willing, if you're free. Head on out, and as Jeff Grimes said, there are a lot of new players, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But there's a lot of new players that you're going to see, and there's noticeable differences. I'll put it that way, from what we saw, especially at the end of last season, to what we're going to see next week.
So I one of my favorite clips of Barry Alvarez is from the Great Dane Huddle.
Search committees hire me.
No, that's a great one, or you better get your tickets now because pretty soon you won't be able to. But he's talking about, who's the running back? Was he from Arizona State? He's in the draft now. He's the fullback that kept getting the ball over and over and over and over and over again in that game last fall. And he said, if I'd have been coaching, we might not have thrown a single pass in the second half. Those days, you can't live that way anymore, right? Like in the Barry Alvarez era, you could. You can't really play that way. So, but something closer
against
to
high-end competition, no. But I think the goal is that you will be able to dictate how you want to play. And I think in the past maybe that hasn't been the case. I think for Wisconsin, and what I think we've always hung our hat on, is that our five up front, and we add tight ends and everybody else, we will find ways to move the football on the ground. Not every play, but that is your bedrock of how you run an offense, and that makes everything easier for everybody else. And we saw that last year with the Green Bay Packers. That was their bedrock. Duo block, all that stuff. So it'll be interesting to see where we're at, how much depth we have at running back. There's a lot of questions that still have to be answered. There's no doubt about that.
The Badgers renovating their offense under Jeff Grimes, and you could have a chance to renovate your bathroom for free if you win Tausch's ugly, crappy bathroom sweepstakes. I don't think that's the official title, with Kohler Services.
Yeah, if you think that your shower needs to be remodeled, needs to have some refurbishments, it's one of the ugliest, upload a photo of it. Get it over to goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest for a chance to win a free shower remodel. Yeah, you heard me right. One lucky fan is going to win a free shower remodel from Kohler Services. We talked about Kohler Services for years now. Luxury brand, great Wisconsin company. And now you get a chance not only to get a free bathroom, you also get consultation on the design. You get it demolished and removed, and you get that installation of a brand-new Kohler Lugstone shower. You can upload your photo again by April 30th to goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest for your chance to win a brand-new Kohler shower in your house. And it's simple, again, all you do to get a free shower. Send that photo over to goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest.
Tausch, you up to speed on how QR codes work?
No, I'm not.
So on our screen,
I always struggle.
I
end up taking photos of it, and then it doesn't work. So
so what we have here on our video stream, when you do this live read every day, and then we share it a few times as well throughout the course of the show, there's a QR code that you can scan here on the Wilde and Tausch video stream. And so you can go to the website or on your phone, wherever you are, you can scan this QR code, and that'll get you right to the landing page where you can enter to win this contest. How about that? Nice and easy.
The contest runs for the rest of the month. Make sure you scan that QR code. Tausch doesn't have to scan it. He can just tell you about it. But I think that's more realistic. Whoa, Nelly is next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Mark Tauscher here for Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie, the name you can trust. Well, the new baseball season is in full swing. Basketball's postseason about to get underway, and Green Bay is ready to host the draft. It is such an exciting time to think about all the big things happening in Wisconsin sports. Maybe it's also time for you to start thinking about an exciting new vehicle. Well, if that's the case, start your search with Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie. Stop by the dealership on Main Street in Sun Prairie to check out their full inventory of new and used vehicles. Or make it even easier by starting your search online at ZimbrickChevrolet.com. And if you're not in the market for a new vehicle but want to make sure yours feels as new as the day you drove it off the lot, get a tune-up with Zimbrick Chevy's amazing service team. Stop into Zimbrick Chevrolet on Main Street in Sun Prairie and discover this great automotive team that I've been telling you about for years. Consistently recognized as a best of Madison operation, Zimbrick Chevrolet on Main Street in Sun Prairie is the name you can trust.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Hey football fans, Verizon is giving you the chance to win the ultimate draft experience with the Road to the Draft sweepstakes. 10 lucky winners will win tickets for the first day of the 2025 draft in Green Bay, including round-trip car service from Milwaukee, hotel accommodations, plus access to the Verizon viewing zone where you'll be taken care of like a first-round pick. Don't miss your chance to win the ultimate draft experience powered by Verizon. Hurry to select Wisconsin Verizon locations to enter by April 13th. No purchase necessary to enter. Must be legal U.S. resident of Wisconsin or Illinois. Age 21 years or older. Void where prohibited. For official rules and full details, visit www.espnwisconsincontest.com.
Get ready for the ultimate Saturday night at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Join us for the all-new Queen of Hearts drawing at 4, 6, 8, and 10 p.m. This is your chance for royal glory. When your name is drawn, choose the right card and you could win a life-changing jackpot, up to $150,000. The longer the Queen stays hidden, the bigger the jackpot grows. Let's Hard Rock with the Queen of Hearts only at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Hey, Gina, did you hear about the draft?
Wayne, there's no draft at Pella.
There's definitely a draft. Right, Wilde?
Yeah,
everybody's talking about it.
Pella windows are constructed of the highest quality. No drafts. But Pella should be everyone's #1 pick because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get no interest financing options or free glass upgrades.
So where is the draft?
Coon. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply in Sport 30-2025.
Hey, it's John Hayes, owner of Goodman's Jewelers. Come in and discover the high standards, classic traditions, honesty, integrity, and elegance when you walk through our doors. For over 90 years, customers have returned again and again to our warm boutique setting. Trust me, because I've been there for over 40 of them. Whether it's time to come back or your first time in, stop by Goodman's Jewelers at 220 State Street today. Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison since 1933.
The best is at Goodman's.
At Gruber Law Offices, we take great pride in helping those who have trusted us after a serious accident. Our team has the knowledge, resources, and experience to get you the results you deserve. Don't wait to get the help you need. Make the right call. Call Gruber Law Offices today. Proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. One call, that's all.
I'm the most guaranteed person you could take.
The 2025 NFL Draft.
Is he a lockdown corner? Is he an elite receiving entity?
Round 1 begins Thursday, April 24th on ESPN Radio, ESPN, and on ABC.
Don't ever say it's over if I'm breathing. Racing to the moon.
Before we get to Wonelli, we must pick a trivia winner for this week. Good job remembering, Jesse.
Yeah, we don't always remember around here to do this kind of thing, but we remember this week. Everybody has 3 entries except for Mark in Mount Pleasant from earlier this week, who played the...
What about the person who you helped them get the answer right? Juan.
Yeah, Juan has 3 entries.
Okay. Would have
A
only
lot
had
of
2
chips
if
in
not
there,
for you.
huh?
There are a lot of chips in here. And what do you know? The only person without 3 entries, Mark in Mount Pleasant, wins Wilde and Tausch trivia. Chip number 2. Nicely done, Mark.
He only got 1 right, if I recall correctly. That's how he ended up with only 2 entries.
He knew just enough about Wilde and Tausch to get us.
Proof that you can still win even if you don't have the maximum entries. Time now for Whoa Nelly.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa Nelly
on Wilde and Tausch.
Just one quick story for Whoa Nelly today that I wanted to make sure all of us Packers fans and those who follow the team are caught up on. Former number 1 wide receiver Allen Lazard is staying with the New York Jets, agreeing to a pay cut which reduces from what could have been up to an $11 million deal this year down to $2.25 million to remain with the New York Jets. Guys, your thoughts on Allen Lazard?
I think Lazard
and his new contract.
Lazard should be happy that he's in the NFL, and that he would have had there been more offers. He would have just gotten cut and went and done it. So I give him credit, him and his team, for being smart to kind of maneuver his way and find a role. Allen Lazard can be a really good role-playing wideout for you. He's physical. He's tough. I don't want him having to be one of the main guys, though. And I think that's what this scenario reflects.
This will be Allen Lazard's 8th NFL season.
Yeah, he deserves a lot of
Undrafted out of Iowa State. He has caught in his NFL career 229 passes. 60 of those came in 2022 when he was indeed the Green Bay Packers' number 1 wide receiver.
Yeah.
But he has 27 career touchdown catches, including 6 last season with Aaron Rodgers in New York. He has carved out a very good, productive, financially lucrative NFL career from humble beginnings.
He's had a good career, period, Finn. You can say financial. He's had a good career.
Yeah.
Especially with the expectations. So for Jesse to be as churlish as he just was, this is another great example of what he would say virtually and what he would say if Allen Lazard is on the tailgate tour, which he will be at some point in his life.
No.
Jesse will be up there saying, "Oh, Allen, you were so good. I loved how you blocked.
Allen Lazard is not going to get invited
blocks.
to the tailgate
You did such
tour.
a great job for Aaron Jones back in the early 2020s. This is a great example of that right there.
I would say, hey, Allen Lazard, you were great as a Packers number 3 wide receiver.
No, you wouldn't. You know you wouldn't.
He was an above-average number 3 wide receiver. Yeah.
You wouldn't say that. Then you know you wouldn't.
I just love that you dropped the churlish on him. Why don't you drop...
that's what he was being. Very
He
churlish.
was. Mean-spirited, to be sure. Why don't you drop on us a little bit of knowledge about the Hard Rock Casino in Rockford?
Oh, I'm excited. I love this new partnership. The new Hard Rock Casino Rockford features over 175,000 square feet of gaming and entertainment space, including more than 1,300 slot machines, 50 live table games, a sports book, and a rock shop. And for all of us that love watching golf, especially the majors, it's a great spot to be. And if you're hungry, guests can enjoy diverse dining options at the Hard Rock Cafe, Council Oaks steak and seafood, bricked Italian kitchen, the Noodle Bar, street tacos, and constant grind. Head on down. Again, it's right off of Highway 90 on your way, right on the left-hand side of the road if you're coming from the greater Madison area. Got that big old guitar, purple and yellow neon lights flashing, welcoming you over to the Rockford Casino. It's a premier entertainment destination just off of I-90, located in Rockford, Illinois.
Feel Good
What's so
Friday,
funny?
painted by Home
What
and
is so
Lindsay
funny?
Paints. I'm just a happy person. I just like to
Are
smile.
ya?
I am. I'm
Really?
a very happy person,
Okay.
yeah. All right. Feel Good Friday, painted by Hallman Lindsay Paints, wraps up the week next with a special guest. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Welcome to the 2025 NFL Draft on ESPN Radio.
The NFL Draft is now underway.
Live from historic Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
With the first pick.
Thursday, April 24th on ESPN Radio, ESPN, and on ABC.
Mark Tauscher here for Pizza Hut, a place I've loved going back to the days when I was a kid participating in their legendary Book It program. Man, I loved Pizza Hut back then, and I love creating new Pizza Hut memories with my family now. And right now, Cheesy Bites Pizza is back at Pizza Hut. For just $13.99, you can get a large pizza with 28 pullable, poppable, cheese-filled bites. And even better, it comes with the Ranch Lover's Flight, featuring 3 bold new dips. Ultimate Ranch, Chipotle Ranch, and Pepperoni Ranch. That's a lot of ranch. 1 large pizza, 3 dips, endless flavor. Ready to dip into deliciousness? Well, hurry in or order online today at pizzahut.com. And remember, no one out-pizzas the Hut.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by The Jump Around. Don't miss new episodes of this exclusive digital show talking all things Wisconsin sports, premiering every Thursday at 12:30, streaming live on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. Expect high energy from transfer Nick Boyd. Boyd, a former standout at Florida Atlantic and San Diego State. FAU play-by-play voice Ken LaVicka joined the latest episode of The Jump Around digital show. His one word to describe Wisconsin's newest edition?
Dog. The guy loves the gym. On road trips, he was getting pumps in all the time in the fitness center. Once it's time to play, he is a dog, because as good as he is from a basketball standpoint, he might be a better trash talker. And he does not back down from anybody.
Everyone is talking about the draft, but you won't feel one from high-quality Pella windows. Get no-interest financing options or free glass upgrades today at PellaWI.com.
This update sponsored by UW Credit Union. For every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here for every you. Shop, pick, and save for your tailgate. Earn a free Brewers ticket for every $50 spent with your Fresh Perks card at Pick and Save now through April 15th. Visit pickandsave.com/Brewers for full details. Join UW Credit Union at uwcu.org. Insured by NCUA.
Outdoor Living Unlimited's showroom on Stoughton Road is absolutely a must-see. Nobody builds a better backyard better than Outdoor Living Unlimited. New deck, outdoor kitchen, screen room, fire pit, and in-ground pool. Outdoor Living Unlimited is Wisconsin's leader in building the new deck. Wisconsin's #1 TimberTech decking installer. Looking for a backyard hardscape design? Stop by Outdoor Living Unlimited's amazing Madison showroom. Visit our open house on Saturday, April 19th from 9 to 1 p.m. and meet the team. Or visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here for Kohler Services. Well, if you think your shower is one of the ugliest in Wisconsin, upload a photo to goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest for a chance to win a free shower remodel. Yes, you heard me correctly. One lucky fan will win a free shower remodel from Kohler Services, including a design consultation, demolition, and removal of your existing shower or bath, and installation of a brand new Kohler Lugstone shower. goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest for your chance to win.
All day, every day, the Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
How much does it cost to talk to Gruber Law Offices after a serious accident? It's free. Yes, free, as in it won't cost you anything to speak with us. There's never a fee until we win your case. Gruber Law Offices. One call. That's all.
Waiting to see a general surgeon? With Stoughton Health, it's always easy access, with most appointments within a week. And with over 160 insurances accepted, you're covered and in good hands. For more information, visit stoughtonhealth.com. Stoughton Health, creating excellence together.
You gotta get down on Friday. It's time to finish the week off right. It's Feel Good Friday on Wilde and Tausch, painted by Hallman Lindsay.
Born and raised under the rain and a western wind, felt the weight. Try to live up to the say I am. Is it any wonder? Shame comes crawling my first.
It is Feel Good Friday, painted by Hallman Lindsay Paints. And for the last couple weeks, I've been telling you about how Verizon's got the ultimate draft experience planned with the Road to the Draft sweepstakes, and how I'm headed to my Verizon store today, even though I'm ineligible for the contest to get new phones. Well, Verizon's got a lot more going on, including this really great initiative to help our veterans and military families. Joining us now from Verizon, it is Andy Brady, Verizon Market President. Andy, good morning. How are you? You got your Masters shirt on? You're ready for the Masters. Love it. I am curious. Tell us. Oh, and the cup as well.
Andy, who do you got? You think Justin Rose is going to hang on here? What do you think? How do you see this weekend shaking out?
Jesse,
but on my screen right here, he's on Amen Corner right now. So I think it's going to be a hard weekend for him to hold up, but I think that the scores are going to be really low today, and I anticipate an incredible tournament. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Well, I can't wait till you and Tausch play some golf together. I think you guys need to get that on the calendar. I'm going
to tell you right now, I just Mason Crosby and I just had this conversation. I'm going to bring you you and Mark, you and I will be the heavies. You and I against Mason. We'll play best ball against Mason. He just plays his own ball. I think that's the deal right there.
Yeah, I'm on board with that. Yeah. Let's
Tausch
do it at
is
Augusta.
16, if you
Can we set that up, Andy? Let's get down to Augusta and play that.
Well, I don't know if I can get down to Augusta, but certainly we can set that up for sure. That's a guarantee.
Let's do it.
So, Andy, we've been talking about the sweepstakes, which is an awesome thing for fans and an opportunity for them to be at the draft here in Green Bay. But we wanted to have you on for Feel Good Friday because, on this show, a lot of times we sarcastically say to each other, thank you for your service, because this is not a hard job, right? What we do is it's like playing in the toy department. And we have a lot of veterans who listen to the show, and we are authentically thankful for their service. But Verizon is putting its money where its mouth is, along with ForgiveCo. So help us understand what you guys have going on alongside ForgiveCo to help our veterans and our military families.
Yeah, thank you so much for bringing it up. I'll tell you, Verizon has about 8,000 veterans that work for us, and each one of us have veterans that are in there, a part of our families. We, along with Green Bay Packers and ForgiveCo, have made this decision to wipe away debt, specifically health care debt for veterans across the state of Wisconsin. We announced our partnership with Mark Murphy and I announced our partnership on Tuesday or Wednesday. And at that point in time, we wrote a check for $1 million to wipe away veteran debt leading up to the draft. And then to further add to that, the next 2 years, for every win that the Packers have, we're going to give another $100,000 away. So if they win 10 games, that's another $1 million this year. If they win 8 games, we're going to pay $1 million. If they win 12, I'm going to have to spend some more money, I guess. But at the end of the day, it is to wipe away. There's about $16 million in debt right now that are part of these veterans. And to your point, Jason, I think we live this great life. We have the ability to talk on the radio. We have the ability to watch the Masters. We have the ability to go out and lose to Mason Crosby in golf. We have the ability to do all these different things. And it's because of these veterans that we have that opportunity. We live in this wonderful land of the United States, and what better way to give back than to do a random act of kindness? Here's the great thing. They don't know they're going to be chosen. And so there are these individuals. They're going to get a letter from us that'll have Verizon's letterhead and ForgiveCo and the Green Bay Packers. And it's going to say, we'll wipe away all your debt. And it's a random act of kindness. We're just picking them out of a hat, if you will. We know who they are, but we're appropriately picking them out of the hat. And they'll get this letter. So veterans, if you're out there and you're chosen, it is a legitimate letter that we're sending you. And legitimately, we're paying it off. And it couldn't be a better feeling, guys. I'll tell you, it's a wonderful, wonderful thing.
Wow, it's almost like those. I'm a sucker for the surprise of a veteran who his family then is there at like a game when they do that kind of thing. Every time it gets me. And so this is a variation of that. I love it.
If you don't tear up at that, you're not a human. You know what I mean? That's for sure. You know,
right.
It's great, though. So this is part Mark, you'll appreciate this. I spent some time with Mark Murphy and some of your former teammates this week, and we came into a long-term contract with long-term deal with the Green Bay Packers, multi-year deal. Mark, when you were there last time, we were part of the agreement, and we're back in the fold now. The technology that we're putting into that stadium in Lambeau and then the Resch Center is unheard of. I know you guys were talking about the draft. We put about $21.5 million in technology up in Green Bay, just so when the draft comes in, that the glut of people. I explained this to your peers in Milwaukee the other day. 300,000 people showing up in Green Bay. Like, Mark, I don't know if you saw 300,000 people in 3 weekends, and you're like the second biggest or third biggest. Lambeau Field's the third biggest stadium or the third biggest city in Green Bay or in Wisconsin when there's a game. That's how many people are going to show up over this weekend. It's incredible. So we're super excited about all the stuff we're doing with the Green Bay Packers, all the stuff that we're doing with the NFL draft, and certainly super excited about what we're doing with the veterans.
Well, Andy, I only have one more question because I'm glad to know that my Verizon phones will work even though there will be a glut of 300,000 people in town. What's with the Lions helmet in the background? You got Packers gear everywhere. What about who gets special dispensation to have their Lions helmet in the back?
So look, I don't know if you see the one over my head here.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to try to get all the Bear stuff out for you, Mark, but apparently I missed one. We sponsor all of the NFL, and I said this to Mark, and I said it to the Bears team when they called me after we made the announcement. I have 5 kids. I love all 5 of them, and you can have different favorites when you're in different areas. But we sponsor almost every team in the NFL, and you know, I put people helmets up there, people I really appreciate, and so there's a lot of good people up there. But look, I love the Packers right now, especially in southwestern Wisconsin, southeastern Wisconsin.
And in fairness, there's 2 Packer helmets. I don't see 2 Lions or 2 Bears helmets.
True.
Like, if we're being fair, so it's actually you are showing who your favorite is. You just you maybe didn't do it intentionally.
I hid the other Bears on it, so.
Okay. We appreciate the honesty.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, in the future, I'll make sure I remove all my other stuff. But let's just talk about we can talk about the Masters too. Did you see that logo? We can go that route.
No,
there you go, Jason. You and Jason can break that down later. That's great.
Hey, Jason, you did mention about your Verizon phone. I appreciate you. Every one of our customers out there. Any one of you guys that want to go to any of our stores in the Madison area, Milwaukee area, I think you were talking about Northern Illinois. We've got Northern Illinois as well covered. But we've done these great promotions right now where almost every single device is free. So come into our stores. And more importantly, when you come in there up until Sunday, you can take your phone and do the proverbial QR code and sign up for this great trip from ESPN and Verizon up to the draft. We're taking 10 people and a guest, 10 and a guest with hotel accommodations. We'll bring you up from Milwaukee. Got to get over to Milwaukee, but we'll bring you up from Milwaukee, take you up there, enjoy the draft. I'll tell you, our setup there is going to be pretty awesome. You either be on the stage to the left of where the young man comes out to get drafted, or in our hospitality on the other side. But it's going to be a pretty awesome experience for about 10 special guests of ours.
All right, well, Andy, I'm not eligible for that, but maybe I'll swing by anyway if you'll let me in. I'll name check you today when I go to the Green Bay store. I'm going to tell them, Andy Brady said you could make me a really good deal because I need 4 new phones, 2 for the girls, 1 for Paula, 1 for me, so I'm going to drop your name, all right?
Tell you what, go in there right now. I'll give you a free device, Jason, on me.
Look at you. That's That's the way to send this off on a Feel Good Friday, Andy. You just gave Wilde a free phone. He's happier than a clam.
Andy, thanks again for this and for what you and Forgive Co. are doing and with the Packers as well. We appreciate you, buddy. Thanks.
Gentlemen, thanks. Have a good weekend.
That is our Feel Good Friday, painted by Hallman Lindsay Paints, and that's it for us today. We'll be back on Monday. Have a great weekend. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin?